My name is Aidan Kearney, also known as 𝗵𝗏𝗺.
He is a senior editor for 𝗵𝗏𝗺 Daily News.
I'm a big fan.
We've broken hundreds of stories that the mainstream media won't touch.
Some blogger in Massachusetts who's getting to the bottom of this better than anybody.
Why is it 𝗵𝗏𝗺 that is covering such important issues? Where is the rest of the media?
You did not say that you were going to take my baby out of her vent and make him a transgender baby.
Stop it.
Don't you want to ask some questions? I know you do.
I do. I
know
you do.
People don't like the things that I say and want me to stop saying them, but I won't. I'm never going to stop. These are the kind of stories that must be told.
Yo, what's up, turtle people? How's everyone doing out there tonight? Good, good, excellent. Welcome to the live show, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, I'm a couple of minutes late. My New Year's resolution was to always be promptly on time at 9 o'clock, but sometimes shit happens. Actually, my daughter's upstairs. She's just like, her mom's gonna be home in a few minutes, so she's like, but she should be fine. She's just watching TV. She's good. So I'm like, you can come down and be on my show if you want. But hold on, I'm trying to fix this goddamn thing. No, other way. There. Yeah, that works. Yeah, good enough. Whatever. Okay. Anyway, yeah, fashionably late. Anyway, guys, so welcome to the live. That's actually really gonna piss me off. I gotta change that. Hold on. We're gonna fix that. Other way. No, other way. We'll go this way. Okay. Nope. We're gonna fix this. It's gonna annoy me the whole show if I don't do it. And then we'll do this. We'll do this situation like that. And then nope. But then that stupid corner over there. Hold on, we're gonna get this. You know, how about this? Do some of this action. Yeah, that works, right? No, but then we got this thing. Oh God! Oh, for fuck's sake! You know what? I'm about to fuck. Hold on. All right, we're going with that. We're sticking with it. It's annoying, but it is what it is. Anyway. Welcome to the live show, ladies and gentlemen. If you're new here, do me a favor, go ahead and smash that subscribe button. We do this every Tuesday and Saturday night at 9 p.m. Actually, it's really annoying. Hold on. Gotta put it up more. How does that seem? How about that? No. That. Go up more like that. Actually, that works. Yeah, we'll go with that. That's much better. Okay, cool. Anyway, we do this every Tuesday and Saturday night at 9 p.m. and we do impromptu lives too. So make sure you smash that notification bell because you're going to want to get notified when we do an impromptu live. You never know when that's going to be. I almost went live today for that call, but I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to do it and tape it and whatever. So yeah, make sure you do that. I've gone ahead and I've shared this link to the various social media pages that we run. By the way, you can call me Aidan or Clarence or Unc. People call me Uncle 𝗵𝗏𝗺 sometimes, or you can call me Doctor. I really like that, Dr. 𝗵𝗏𝗺. That's my Twitter account at Dr. 𝗵𝗏𝗺, DOCTOR 𝗵𝗏𝗺. Because if Joe Biden's a doctor, I'm definitely a doctor. My Facebook is Clarence Woods Emerson. That's my personal account. You can follow that. You can also follow the main business page, 𝗵𝗏𝗺. Just search 𝗵𝗏𝗺 on Facebook. It'll come up. Instagram, we are at 𝗵𝗏𝗺_daily_news. You know, find us pretty much anywhere. We're supposed to, I thought I was streaming on Rumble. Did it not go through? Did I screw something up? I'm going to have to freaking upload this to Rumble tomorrow. Okay. So I guess it's not on Rumble. All right. Oh, and we don't, hold on. I also got to get the turtle chat. I'm all over the place tonight. Hold on. I'm going to upload the turtle chat right now in the comments. Turtle chat. I know I'm slacking tonight, guys. My bad. All right, I'm going to pin this. Pin message. Okay, cool. All right. Did I freeze there? No, we're good. All right. So if you like the program and you want to donate and you want to use the super chat function like you do on other cool YouTube channels, you can't here because we're banned for life from using that because we had the wrong opinions a couple years ago about a certain president's vaccine mandates. I was against it. My body, my choice kind of situation. Hold on. Now this fucking shadow is going to get to me. How about this way? What happens if I do this? Okay, but then I disappeared. No, that's not good. We don't want that. Can we get like a happy medium? Then there's a shadow. All right, whatever. Okay, I'm just going to get used to that. All right. Anyway, so yeah, if you like the program and you'd like to donate, we built our own donation platform. You click at the link at the top. It's called Turtle Chat. You can donate whatever amount of money you want. When you do that, I will get an email notification and I will be able to read the message that you sent via your Turtle Chat. So let me see if don't have any yet because I didn't put it up. So if you do that, I'm also on Cash App at $Uncle-Turtle-Boy. That way I'll get a notification on my phone if you choose to do it that way. Okay, so anyway, without further ado, let's just jump right into it, shall we? I called the Norfolk Superior Courthouse today, and I shared a video of it earlier in a recent blog that I did a couple hours ago. If you didn't see it, I'm going to bring it up here. Give me one moment, and we'll bring it up. Okay, cool. Oh, we already got one. We got a $10 Cash App here from Lou Kane Butterballs. Sends $10 for Chris Albert's. Let's see. Chris Albert got pink socked by John Connolly's belt. Okay. And yeah, thank you. By who? By whose belt? What's pink socked mean? I don't even know what that means. But thank you very much, sir. I appreciate that. It's a $10 dono. Okay, let me play this. So here's the deal. So last we talked on Friday or on Saturday, we were reading the two motions from Karen Reed's attorneys. One motion was in opposition to the Commonwealth's motion for a gag order. They want to gag the defense. The other one was a much more, headline grabbing motion. And that would be the motion to ask Judge Canoni to recuse herself as judge in this case. And we went all over that. It was a really thorough, I thought, well put together, well argued motion. It doesn't happen very often because, but then again, we've never seen a case this ridiculous, have we? There's a reason this case is grabbing so many people's attention. And it's not because you're stupid, which is what they want you to believe. They want you to think that, like, oh, you're just doing this because you're stupid. You've all been brainwashed, right? Karen Reed is a master manipulator, and she's hired some really fancy pants attorneys, and they've manipulated all of us, including me. Like, I'm their henchman that they pay money to just regurgitate the lies and the conspiracy theories. And this is what they do. And they will gaslight you and tell you that, no, you're crazy because you believe in conspiracy theories. What are you, a 9/11 truther? What do you believe in that it was all a big hoax? Do you believe that, how many you QAnon? That's what they're going to try to throw you in the same group as. But you're not crazy. You're not. You're just, you're like, there's too many of us. People who are intelligent, people who, I'm talking about lawyers, not all lawyers, but a lot of attorneys, well-educated people look at this case and they realize that, no, I'm not stupid. My eyes can see what they see. I'm not a medical examiner, but I can look at autopsy photos of somebody who has two eyes literally coming out of his face, a gash in the back of his head, and cuts up and down his arm and scratches up and down his right arm, only in his right forearm, no other arms or appendages, just his arm. And I can look at that and be like, you know what? I don't think Alexis did that. I don't think Alexis did that. Now, you don't have to be a trained scientist or a lawyer to understand that something's up there. Something is going on. And it's all starting to make sense now with Canoni, because she's been on this case for almost a year now. And you're like, why did Lally think he could get away with this the whole time? And why did Michael Morrissey think they could get away with this the whole time? And it's because the fix was in. They knew they had Canoni. They knew she was never going to leave. They knew that ultimately she is the RAJ, the regional, associate justice? I don't even know. But she's in charge, or administrative justice. She's in charge of all this, and they knew that she could tap in whenever they want. They got her in the bag. I don't know what they have on her, but clearly it's something. And she's not an honest person. And that's when we're going to play some videos of a woman on TikTok who I don't know her real name. I feel like she should. I don't know what her name is. Maybe she could say what her name is. I've invited her. She goes by 𝗏𝗵𝗹𝗃𝗍𝗃. We've spoken to her before on, I think, Facebook or Instagram. One of our admins did, and I'm like, yeah, invite her on, and she declined. But she did seem like she agreed with us for a while there. We'll get to that in a little bit, but for now, I want to talk about how these two motions that we talked about on Saturday, and they were filed, right? They're unprecedented. At least the second one was. And so this has caused a lot of people to be like, wow, that's pretty drastic. That's pretty crazy. But the craziest part is that they're not even up. You can't even read them. Why? Like, they're literal, like, just when you thought these people couldn't get any shadier, they're like, oh yeah, watch this. Watch what we do here. And despite what, you know, TikTok attorneys tell you, it's not actually normal. Like, none of this is fucking normal. And the people that are telling you it's normal are doing it because they might have to practice law in front of Judge Kearney one day. That's you know, that's why they're doing it. Spoiler alert. It's not because they think it's right or wrong. It's because they like the whole concept of judges in this country and in this state, like, is a problem because they're kind of kings. And they can do whatever they want with no consequences. And they make it so that, like, skilled litigators now have to kiss their ass and have to worry about what they'll do to them if you don't say the right thing about them. So anyway, so let's read here. So basically, they didn't get uploaded to the file. So it didn't get uploaded to mass courts. I checked all weekend. It was not on there. So Monday morning comes around. And next thing you know, it's uploaded. I checked at like 8:50, I think, and it was on there. I'm like, oh shit, download that. I go, but only one of the two motions was, only the motion to recuse was up there, not the motion in opposition to the gag order. So I checked 2 hours later to see if the gag order one's up, and it's just not there. It's just not there altogether. So I click on the other one, the motion to recuse, and all I see is a white line. I mean, just a line. Looks like the hair on Karen Reed's quarter panel that stayed on there for 100 miles during a snowstorm. So yeah, the human hair is a human hair. So it's obviously must be John O'Keefe's, and it must be from when she murdered him and not when they lived together all the time. So she obviously, like, that's what happens when you kill someone. One piece of hair stays on the quarter panel and a small shard of glass. And that's like, ooh, case closed. Mic drop, must be guilty, must be a murderer. Anyway, so that was all that was on there. And so I'm like, okay, what the so they're being accused of being so shady. And there's literally a motion on file that asks the judge to recuse herself for being extremely shady. And then what happens? They take it down. The only person with the authority to take that down is Judge Kearney herself. It's her court. She is the one that ultimately has the authority to take that down. Now, according to the Attleboro Sun Chronicle, she just wasn't working yesterday because fuck it. Why would you work on a Monday? She's making a lot of money as a judge. She's got a lifelong position there as a hack. Why would you come into work on Monday? It's not like you have fucking work to do, or you have like an important job or anything like that. Just don't fucking go. Maybe she's sitting at home working on her response to the 76-day-old motion to compel that David Yannetti filed on April 26th. Maybe she's doing that. Maybe she's doing her homework. I don't know. But anyway, so I call up the courthouse and I'm like, well, let's get some answers to this. Let's find out what's going on. And just when you thought they couldn't possibly be any shadier, they go and do that. So let me play my phone call here with the courthouse. And let's keep in mind, like, Kearney right now isn't even on criminal sessions. She's only on, civil sessions.
Clerk's office.
Yeah, hi. This line's recorded. I have a question,
I'm not being recorded. Thank you very much.
but I just have a question.
Stop right there. So this woman, whoever this woman is, okay, Miss Government Employee, I don't know if you know how this works, dear, but you are a public servant. You don't have the option to not be recorded. I don't want to go full Abrams or anything like that, but I don't want to be recorded. Tough fucking shit. Tough shit. I mean, by the way, where the fuck is Abrams? And these people, what, he could be useful on something? Oh, he's down in Connecticut bothering innocent people at town hall or some shit. Anyway, that woman, I called her the first time and I'm like, this call is recorded. She's like, I don't want to be recorded. I'm like, well, too bad. I'm recording you. And then she hung up, and it happened twice. That was the third time I called right there. So now she's expecting me. And she immediately transfers me. Cause it's like if I went down to the courthouse, I could walk into Norfolk Superior courthouse, the clerk's office, and I could go up and with a camera and just film that woman in there. And there'd be nothing she could do about it. So it's like the same. Why can't I record you on the phone? You're at work. What do you think? This is a secret? I don't give a shit if you consent. Anyway, let's watch this video. Watch what happens.
About this?
So she hung up. She hung up on me. She didn't want to talk.
Hello?
Thank you for calling the Norfolk Superior.
We're going to get to that, AC.
Yeah, hi. This line's recorded.
Okay, I'm going to send you to the clerk. 1 second.
They're sending me to the big guy, the clerk, the Norfolk County head clerk, Jim McDermott, big shot. He'll take care of this. Jimmy's on it.
Jim McDermott?
Yes, hi. This line's recorded.
Sure.
Hi. So
That's
your
you're
other
supposed to do
woman,
that.
she hung up on me after I said I was recording, and I'm not sure why. This is a public line.
Probably because you were recording. She didn't want to be recorded.
Well,
Probably because she's this is maybe Josh Abrams has a purpose. Like, it doesn't matter if she doesn't want to be fucking recorded, Jim. Teach your employees this. They work for us. We can record them whenever we want to, as long as they're at work, you fucking imbecile. God, these people really have no idea how the First Amendment works. Like, absolutely none. So anyway, back to this.
well, I mean, she's a public servant at work. I could walk into the clerk's office and begin recording anyway. But anyway, the reason I'm calling you today is because I'm a reporter and I'm looking at the docket for the Karen Reed trial, and I've noticed that there's the motion for recusal. It's no longer there when you click on image on mass courts.
Yeah, it was never there.
It was
Okay,
there for
so-
2 hours. I got it yesterday, but it's not there now.
Okay, so it was never there. Okay, let's stop right there. We caught him in one lie right there. It was never there, he says. Let's bring up the receipts, shall we? It was never there, he says. Well, okay, so here is the official motion. Notice it says received and filed July 17th at 8:42. Stamped Clerk of the Courts, Norfolk County. Jim, here's a trivia, Jim McDermott. Who's the Clerk of Courts in Norfolk County? Oh, that's right. You are. So you personally fucking stamped this. You filthy fucking liar. Jim. Like, literally, you did this. This is your stamp. You stamped that at 8:42 a.m. You filed it. Now, why you waited until Monday to do that when you had it on Friday is beyond me. maybe you guys were like testing to see, oh, well, Turtle Boy got like, is Turtle Boy gonna get this? Yeah, I got it. Okay, and I don't reveal sources. Either way, why are you hiding shit? Like, this is a public document in a murder trial. The public has an absolute right to see it. Why are you hiding stuff? When Adam Lally files a motion, it is up in 5 seconds. Absolutely ridiculous. So there's one lie right there. He says that it is received, that it was not received. And as you can see here, this is the, I can make this bigger. So this is what the docket looks like. And it says affidavit of Aidan Kearney. Very cool. In support of defendant's motion for recusal. And so when I click on that, you get the hair. Docket 100, defendant's motion for recusal and disqualification. That also gets you the hair. These ones were all submitted together on the 14th. And here it is on the 18th. They're finally adding it. It says opposition to Commonwealth's motion to prohibit prejudicial, extrajudicial statements of counsel. So this is the other motion. Notice no image. You can't even get the hair on these because they didn't even put it up. Let me check right now. I'm going to go to mass courts right now, and I'm going to see if it's up. Give me 1 sec. Can't show you my screen because it will show you the name of the attorney who gave me their login credentials. But that's okay because you know they're watching right now. You know they'd love to suspend someone. They'd love to really send a message that if you work with Turtle Boy, we're gonna get you. We're gonna get you. All right, I'm checking right now, and it's loading. Okay. Okay, there's still no image there. So there's still no image. They haven't even put something up. So they're admitting we have someone has submitted this. We're just not putting it up. You can't see it. Okay. It takes 2 seconds. You have it. It's not like you have to, it's not like they send something in the mail. It's sent over electronically. You can just upload it as a file. It takes 2 seconds to do that. But apparently that's too much for the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office to handle. So let me go back and play some more of this call. So we've caught him in one lie so far. We caught him in the lie that he, what was the lie again? I forget. We caught him in the lie that he, what am I saying? I'm fucking, whatever. Let's just play it. We got him in one lie.
Okay, because it was impounded.
By who?
Impounded by who?
By the court.
But I was told.
So first he says it was, remember that. First he says it was impounded by the court. It's gone because it's impounded. Now, the only reason to impound something is if it contains personal, private information that should not be made public. Now, that motion that we talked about it mentioned the fact that Sean McCabe had a home at the Cape in Barnstable, and so did in Centerville, that certain a neighborhood of Barnstable, and so did Canton. But it didn't list their actual address. So, like, there's no reason for it to be impounded. So remember, though, first he says the court impounded it. Let's play some more.
Canton was not in.
Pursuant to the defense request.
So the defense has asked for it to be impounded.
So the defense. This is what they want you to fucking believe. This is a lie. And you know how I know it? You know what I thought about this? Like, first of all, it's so absurd. Like, so you have to be so stupid to believe that the defense would take all this time writing this really headline grabbing motion, asking the judge to recuse herself, and then ask the court to impound it so that no one can see it. How stupid do you have to be to believe that? Now, he knows that I'm like him. The only way I would like be able to like outright prove that he's lying right here, and he knows this. The only way, we're playing a little game of chess here. The only way for him to prove that, you know, what he's trying to get at here is like what he wants me to say now is the defense never did that because I talked to them. That's what he wants me to say. Like he's trying to catch me in a trap here, but I don't talk to the defense. So I have no proof, I guess, that the defense didn't ask them to impound that, but I do have common sense. And I know it makes no sense at all for the defense to ask the court to just make sure the public can't read their new salacious, extraordinary motion to ask the judge to recuse herself in a murder trial. I believe, I believe that's what he was trying to do there. Yes, and exactly. If anything, they would ask for the Barnstable. Nowhere on there does it list their exact address, which I'm sure they were very careful about. And if they did ask you to impound anything, you can just impound part of it. You don't have to get rid of the entire fucking document. Anyway, let's play some more. He's telling Lally. Oh, yeah, Lally. Actually, I should have said Lally told me. Adam Lally is my source.
The defense requested it, yes, and so it was impounded.
Lie.
On what grounds did the defense request it be impounded?
Personal information.
Okay, but her address was not listed on there.
Okay.
So
I mean, just listen to this guy. Okay. Her address. So why'd you impound it then? What personal things are you trying to impound or hide from the public?
what personal information?
I disagree with what you just said.
You disagree with what I just said? I said a fact. Like, let's see what he disagrees with. Let me rewind that. What does he disagree with that I said?
It's requested be impounded.
Personal information.
Okay, but her address was not listed on there.
Okay.
He's thinking
So
about it.
what personal information?
Why doesn't he just say, yes, it was? Like, that's what you're saying, right? So you disagreed with what I just said. I said that there was no address on there. So what do you disagree with? He can't come out and say it because he knows it's a lie, an easily provable lie, that her address was not on there. So he tries to be vague about it.
I disagree with what you just said.
Well, it's just a matter of fact that her address isn't listed.
Well, actually, as a matter of fact, in the affidavit that was attached to the motion is her address.
Yeah, but the
There's
public,
other personal information on it too.
but the
What's
public
that?
couldn't see that. You couldn't see that when you click on the motion.
Okay, you said it was on for 2 hours. I don't think it was on for 2 hours, but in any event, it's not on now.
Well,
It's in
So it's not on for 2 hours. So how long was it on for? But it was up because I have your time-stamped version of the motion. I have that. So, okay.
impounded.
Okay, so that's the first one. The second one is the motion in opposition to the Commonwealth's motion to gag the defense. That's not listed on there at all. Do you know where that is?
Right, we just received it probably 10 minutes ago.
So they just received it. So let me get this straight. Again, what he's trying to do here is he's trying to get me to say, no, they didn't. They sent it, like, we'll get to that one second. But he wants us to believe that the defense wrote 2 long motions and that they sent them one at a time. So they're like, we'll send one Monday and the other Tuesday afternoon. That's what we'll do. Fuck it. We won't wait till they're both done. We'll just send them one at a time. And how did I get them over the weekend then? How did I get, so they sent them to me? Like, are you suggesting that they sent them to me, but not you? Is that what you're suggesting here? That seems to be what he's getting at. I think that, like, he's trying to, I'm not stupid. He's trying to bait me into saying something like that.
So it went up to the judge.
You just received it 10 minutes ago.
Correct.
But it was sent in on Friday.
See what he does here?
What was sent in on Friday?
The motion. I mean, I've had it.
Which motion?
The motion in
He's trying to get me.
opposition to the Commonwealth's motion to prohibit extrajudicial
Yeah, I
states.
have not received a hard copy yet of that.
A hard copy? A hard copy. What the fuck is a hard copy? Like actual paper? So you wanted them to send it on the Pony Express, my guy? A hard copy. He really said, dude, things are welcome to the 21st century, Jimmy. We have emails now. You can send these things called attachments. They're really magical and PDFs. That's how files get transferred now. They email you a PDF and then you upload that PDF. I've seen the emails in motions of them communicating with your office via email. They're coming in from California. They're not sending you hard copies, you fucking moron. Like, how stupid does he think we are? I don't have a hard copy. Oh, okay. I guess, is your printer broken? You can print your own hard copy.
Motion. And so it was not received on Friday. That's not true.
It was not received on
It's
Friday.
not on the docket.
It is
It's
true.
not on the docket.
Yeah, we know. We
Wait,
know
it
it's not on the
just,
docket.
I just checked now.
Like, we know it's not on the docket because you're not putting it on there. You're hiding it. Why are you hiding a public document? That's literally what this is all about. Well, it can't be because it's not on the docket. Yeah, I know, shit dick.
And it's there, but there's no image attached to it, so you can't read it.
Right, but I said, though, that it was docketed just a few minutes ago, right? And you told me it was docketed on Friday.
No. It was sent in on Friday.
All right, but I didn't receive it on Friday, so I don't know why you're saying that it was sent in on Friday. What information do you have that it was sent in on
I
Friday?
have
See, now he's switching it up about the old switcheroo. What information do you have? You don't think him and Canoni talk about this? About me? And like get him to admit that he talks. They are looking for a reason to kick them off this case. That's what this is getting at. They're too effective. And contrary to popular opinion, I don't talk to them. I got my own sources. I've had sources long before Alan Jackson came around. Believe me, I got plenty of sources. This story will go away someday. Not anytime soon. This story will go away someday, and there will be new stories on different topics, and I will have sources for those as well. I don't need this, okay? This has obviously been the biggest story we've ever done, but Turtle Boy existed before this, and it will exist after this. So I don't know where these people get the idea that, oh, you only get stories because of Alan Jackson. Then what was I doing for the 10 years before I knew who Karen Reed was? Like, what? Okay, go ahead.
Sources.
When I received it today, and actually I haven't received the hard copy yet.
You got sauces.
So why do you say I got it on Friday?
Because I have
Are you-
sources that can confirm that.
Okay, I haven't received it yet, a hard copy, but I received an email, and I docketed the email, and it will not be put on the image.
Oh, so he's gotten an email. So he admits it. He didn't get a hard copy. He did get an email though. So his email works, but it will not be on the docket. Why won't it be on the docket? So he's saying the motion to oppose the gag order won't be on the docket. Why is that?
It will be impounded also
Why will that be impounded?
by the court.
Why will that be
Here
impounded?
we go.
Why?
Yes.
Because.
Okay. I thought this was a joke. I'm like, okay, because I'm like, so you're going to say something else after this, right? Because, right?
Because.
Right.
Because why?
The rules of impoundment.
Because of the magical things he does, because of the wonderful things he does, because he literally said, like a fucking child, he says, because. Why are you hiding this public document from the public? Because. But guys, please, no. Nothing shady is going on here. Nothing shady. No, my objection's going on here. This is normal, right? Because you're a lawyer and you know how things work. I'm just a fucking stupid simpleton who didn't go to law school and I don't have a TikTok, so I don't know how any of this shit works. So I'm not an expert. So I guess it's perfectly normal for the clerk of a court to be caught in 4 lies we've caught him in now. And then when you ask him why he's not putting a public document up on the docket for the public to see, his answer is because. But yeah, nothing is shady. This is just how things work in the legal department. This is common. Any lawyer can relate to this, except I talk to a lot of lawyers too, and none of them think that this is normal. And judges, none of them think this is, they all realize this is completely unethical and unprecedented. But besides that, yeah.
Rule 8 of the trial court rules of impoundment.
And what's that? Why is this impounded?
I don't have to tell you that.
So all Rule 8 says, and I looked it up, I don't have to tell you that. So let's look up Rule 8 of the trial. Rule 8 trial rules, Massachusetts. Let's look up Rule 8. So he doesn't think we'll Google. We will Google. They're not trying to gag me. They can't gag me. They know that. It's a good question. He's so hostile. Like he knew this was coming and he was ready for this fight. They knew it because he says, so this is Rule 8 of civil procedure. Claims for relief, defenses, forms of denial, affirmative offenses, pleading to be concise and direct, consistency. So this is all just about, okay, so claims for relief, a pleading which sets forth a claim for relief, whether an original claim, counterclaim, or a third-party claim, a short and plain statement. Okay, so that doesn't apply. It's not that. A party shall state in short and plain terms his defenses to such claims asserted and shall admit or deny the avertments. Okay, so that's not it. If he is without knowledge or information sufficient to form a belief to the truth of an avertment, I don't know how to pronounce that. He shall so state, and this has the effect of a denial. Denial shall meet the substance of avertments denied. Okay, so that obviously doesn't apply here. Affirmative defenses in pleading to a preceding pleading. A party shall set forth affirmatively accord and satisfaction, arbitration and award, assumption of risk, contributory negligence, discharge of bankruptcy. Okay, I don't think. So that doesn't apply. Effect of failure to deny in a pleading. First of all, I need to Google this. What's an averment? I'm going to Google this now. Okay. Averment is a formal statement by a party in a case or a fact or circumstance which the party offers to prove or substantiate. All right. So, yeah. Anyway, so that, okay, so I don't see what that has to do with this. Pleading to be concise and direct. Each averment of a pleading shall be simple, concise, and direct. No technical forms of pleading or motions are required. A party may set forth 2 or more statements of a claim or defense, alternatively or hypothetically, either on one count. When 2 or more statements are made in the alternative. Okay, I don't know what any of this means. So he wants us, like, he's just like Rule 8. Why don't you just fucking tell me what the problem is? Why are you being so shady? Okay, so I read Rule 8. I don't know if people in the comments are like, what? Okay. Anyway, is that really under the clerk's purview? I doubt it. I doubt it. But anyway, so that seems ridiculous. That answers none of our questions. But he's like, Rule 8. You know, they've like talked this through. We're just going to say it's Rule 8. And like, yeah, that'll shut him up. We'll just say it's Rule 8. Whatever that means. I'm going to text. Maybe this can answer my question for me. That's civil, not criminal. Proper Rule 8 for impound. Okay, I'm getting it right now. Let me read this. I was looking at civil, not criminal. See, I'm a layman. See, this could be explained. Okay, yeah, this is different. Okay, thank you. Let me bring this up. Okay, uniform rules on impoundment procedure. Everybody's messaging me. A better link he just sent? Hold on, let me see. Do we have a better? Okay, yeah. All right, so let's take a look at what Rule 8 says here. Make this bigger. So Rule 8 says good cause. An order of impoundment, whether ex parte or after notice, may be entered only upon a written finding of good cause. Specificity. An order of impoundment shall state specifically what material is to be impounded and where appropriate may specify how impoundment is to be implemented. So that reads to me like they have to say what part of Alan Jackson's motion is to be impounded and why or how it's to be implemented. An order of impoundment shall include the date of issuance and shall specify the duration of the order with a date certain for expiration of the order. In its order, the court may allow persons other than those described in Rule 9 of these rules to have access to impounded material and may order that appropriate redactions or notations be made in the docket. So there's no redactions being made. And also you did it yesterday, so why isn't it up now? The court shall tailor the scope of the impoundment so that it does not exceed the need for impoundment. The court may order that the movant or the filer of any material submit a redacted copy of the impoundment document to the clerk for public inspection. Public inspection. The order shall be entered on the docket, kept in the public file, and made available for public inspection. So I don't see any order of impoundment available on the public docket for public inspection. So it seems like they're saying here that they have to explain why they're impounding something, which clearly they didn't do. All information stating or disclosing the impoundment shall be omitted or redacted from the order to public inspection. Okay. So there is that. I don't know. It's like, I fail to see it, sir. I know you're really fucking smart because you went to law school, so you're wicked smart. You're much smarter than me. I'm just a fucking moron, 3 credits short of a master's, but, I'm not nearly as smart as you. Maybe if I finished those 3 credits, I could be as smart as you, but I'm just not. So maybe you could explain it to me, sir. Maybe you could do that. See if he says anything else.
So you don't. You're a public servant.
It's impounded.
So you're hiding public documents.
I'm not hiding anything.
But why can't the public see this?
It's impounded. There are rules of impoundment. You can read the rules of impoundment.
Well, I have, and I don't see. I have. Well, I have read the rules of impoundment, and I failed to see. We'll see. Okay. They're totally not hiding anything, though, guys.
Totally.
This is on the up and up. Sure.
So yeah, I'm just reading a lot of these comments from people. I mean, most people are just like, it's scary how corrupt they are. Amazing how deep the rock goes. Like, this is how the general public views this. And there are obviously a couple trolls who I don't take too seriously. But then I get like comments like this, and I want to address this from by the way, people who are too scared to use their real name. So they comment under as 3MT696. I'm sorry, but the attorneys for the defense are doing sloppy work. Says anonymous internet man about, 4 high profile defense attorneys that some of, that got Kevin Spacey exonerated in Nantucket. But yeah, besides that, and who some of the richest people in the world trust with their legal affairs. But, anonymous internet man here seems to think that they're not doing so well. And I've seen a lot of that. They're doing very sloppy work. The small errors add up. Like, name one error. What's the error? Also, the legacy file system used by the state loads the docs automatically. Then they get moved once automatic manually approved. No, that's actually not how it works. Don't beat up on workers who are just working within the state's legacy system. Yeah, I should totally be nice to the government hack, Jim McDermott, who says because is his reason why. Not every single person is acting in bad faith. That guy certainly was. Reporting has shifted to bullying. Dial it back in. You'll go further. How about instead of doing that, I just keep doing what I always do and you keep reading it and we solve a murder? How about we do that instead, anonymous internet man? Anyway, so yeah. So there's that. Now, like I said, but before we get to the next thing, let me read a couple donos here that we got on Turtle Chat real quick. We got Joseph sends $10 and he says no comment. So thank you very much, Joseph. Semelina sends a 10ski and she says, hi, Aidan. I was wondering, who do you think would like to play you in the movie or streaming series? I think Chris Pratt is a good option. I love Chris Pratt, obviously. He's one of the few good guys in Hollywood. I don't know. I don't know if Chris Pratt's an adventure guy, isn't he? A few people have said Jeremy Renner, but I don't know. I love Jeremy Renner. He's great. But I don't know if, I don't know. You tell me who should play me. I don't know. We'll see. And that's the big thing. It was there and it's gone. Why? Love how he said it was never there. We saw it. Like, dude, not only did we see it, we downloaded it with your fucking stamp on it. You stamped it. You put it up there. But anyway, and why do you think that they're trying to gag? This all is why they're trying to gag the defense, because they see this obvious ridiculousness, these shenanigans, and they want to tell the press about it because all you have is the press, right? That's all you have is the press. A couple more donos here to read. Maureen sends $10 and says, free care and read from After David Town. Absolutely, Maureen. Thank you. We got Douglas sends $25. Thank you, Douglas. He says, keep pushing for the truth. I'm absolutely going to do that, Doug. Appreciate that. Megan sends $5. Says, when other turtle riders first thought Auntie Bev wasn't impartial and I wanted her to recuse herself, I thought we were getting a bit foolish. Turns out I am the foolish one for thinking this couldn't get crazier. Sorry, Aidan and Turtle Riders. I will never doubt you again. Well, that's very nice of you to, you want to assume, because I agree. I agree with your sentiment on that, Meg, because it's like part of you wants to believe that no, we can't, she can't be in on it too, right? She can't be corrupt too. But then it's like after a while, you're like, what other conclusion could a person reach? What other person could conclusion could a person reach? Anyway, let's see. I also got a couple cash apps here. All right, let me read this. Couple cash apps. We got 𝗃𝗲𝗄𝗃 sends $5 and says, have important information, please respond. Please keep me anonymous. Info about for Michael P. and Brian A. payroll information. Have extremely critical info to share. Okay. Well, thank you very much, 𝗃𝗲𝗄𝗃. I'll check that out. Send me a message. Other questions. And people are sending me pictures from town halls, and I'm seeing the free Karen Reed bumper stickers everywhere. We also got Alex sends $10 and says, for a year of the turtle baby. You got that right. You goddamn right about that one, Alex. Appreciate that. Okay. So are we missing anyone else? All right. So if anyone else wants to donate, you can do Cash App, $UncleTurtleBoy, or click at the link at the top for Turtle Chat, leave a message, and I will read your message out loud to the class. All right. So I want to talk about now, show of hands. Have you guys ever watched this woman on TikTok? She goes by Note My Objection. She's got a decent amount of followers. Let me see how many followers she's got. She has 45.6 thousand followers. And she is an attorney from somewhere in and around Boston. Some people say no. Has anyone out there heard of her or followed her? I feel like there is some crossover. A lot of people originally like, you got to check out this note my objection person. You got to check her out. And so I checked her out early on, and she was talking about the case, and I found it somewhat interesting. And she seemed to be team like Karen Reed. Like, we can go back and see a lot of hers. Let me find, she talks a lot about politics and stuff, but let me see. Lindsay Clancy. All right, hold on. Reasonable doubt. Okay, wait. Hold on. Hold on. I'll find an older one. I mean,
okay, I'm going to tell you the thing that I found the most significant about that entire hearing was this. Now, Karen Reed has two main criminal defense attorneys, David Yannetti, who's the local Boston attorney. He serves as local counsel, and Alan Jackson, who's from California, came in via 𝗵𝗃𝗃 𝗃𝗲. So you can come in from another state if an attorney in good standing in the Commonwealth essentially like vouches for you. So we do a lot of that work. Me and my dad, local counsel work. So both attorneys each took one. So David Yannetti, this is a local Boston attorney. He took the motion to compel and argued that before the court. And Alan Jackson took the animal control Canton town clerk motion. Now the Rule 17 motion for Brian Albert and 𝗵𝗻𝗃𝗃𝗀𝗃 supplements, that's been put over our evidentiary hearing on May 25th. Hopefully I'll be able to go to that, and I'll keep you posted.
So so that's one thing. And by the way, she later says that like, oh, it's not a big deal that the Rule 17 hearing. So yeah, you said right there, the evidentiary hearing is supposed to happen on May 25th. We know, of course, that was later canceled for absolutely no fucking reason. She later says they didn't have to have that. Then why the fuck did they schedule it?
I mean, that's a little bit of time, but so what stood out to me, aside from all of the pieces of evidence, aside from all the different allegations, aside from the arguments, both David Yannetti and Alan Jackson, when they referred to Karen Reed, they referred to her as innocent. I think it was Yannetti who said Karen Reed is factually innocent.
Factually innocent.
And now, as an attorney, as a practicing criminal defense attorney, I don't ever use that word. I really don't. I don't ever tell a court that my client is innocent, because realistically, most of the time, if almost all the time, they are not innocent, at least in one way, shape, or form. I say my client is not guilty, because not guilty and innocent are two very different things. Now, from the outside looking in, it might, get
Okay.
All right, I'm done with the hearing. It was about an hour long. It was very thorough. I will tell you this, after I had read the Commonwealth's oppositions to the motions that they filed on Monday, I was a little like, okay, maybe things are like evening out. There's still some issues, but still stuff that needs to be addressed. But I will tell you that I was not convinced at all. I was not persuaded by the Commonwealth's argument in court at all. And I found
I was not persuaded by the Commonwealth's argument at all. But yet Canoni sides with the Commonwealth, and she's now simping for Canoni. So you make up your mind. It can't be both.
That the defense was far more persuasive with the things that they were submitting to the court, and there was even more stuff I felt like that we didn't really know about, especially stuff that came out about the testimony in the grand jury and the questions that were asked and all those kinds of things. So my dad always told me when I was little, as a lawyer said to the judge, judge, if it walks like a duck and talks like a duck, it's a duck. And it's feeling like a duck in this case. Like there's too many issues. There's too many red flags to it.
Yeah.
There's just too many things going on. So I'm going to break it down. Come back, follow me, keep you posted.
Okay.
So here's the thing. I think it's important to recognize how criminal investigations work and how the criminal justice system works, because I, in no world, would ever think that, the medical examiner, like I'm not this I don't think there's this big giant, all the way up to the governor conspiracy like people are talking about. I mean, that's just, let's come back to reality a little bit. And so
I get that about the whole, I don't want to seem like a hinge conspiracy theorist thing. But at the same time, if it looks like you said, if it looks like a duck and it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, what do you call it? What else do you call this? And that kind of gives it away. If you're afraid to say that, that's basically saying I'll never believe the judge is corrupt. I'll never believe that because you don't want to believe it. But how much more evidence do you need?
So say he's not run over by a car. Okay, let's just play this theory out. Say he's not hit by a car. All right. And we have doctors at Good Samaritan and the medical. Listen, I'm just sitting here talking with my husband, and we're talking about. All right, so the Commonwealth has filed their oppositions to the discovery motions filed by defense in the O'Keefe case, and the long and the short of it is this: the Commonwealth is not changing their position at all. All right, let's talk about O'Keefe and speculation, and also I used Teddy, and I had another video where it was all clunky, and somebody paying attention to this case. That, wait a second, there's something going on. Okay. And since then, we've had kind of a lot of speculation. That's something that in and of itself is not permissible in court unless it's from what we qualify as an expert opinion. So if the Commonwealth puts a witness on the stand and they ask them essentially what their opinion is, and they're not an expert witness, they're just a civilian, I would object because I would say that question calls for speculation. And speculation is unreliable evidence because it's not something that we have seen to be presented to a jury as evidence. Understandably is really interested in this case because there are major violations that are being alleged, are very huge. I mean, really serious.
So you're saying the discovery violations that are being alleged here are huge. Like the discovery that the defense has not received critical discovery, John O'Keefe's clothes. They have not. That's a huge deal. And so she admits this is huge. This is unheard of. So this is what she's saying. This is what she's saying a couple months ago.
Alleged violations of discovery rules. But until we have information that's really substantiated, you have to remember that everybody involved in these cases is still a human being. They are still moms or dads or sisters or brothers or friends or daughters or.
Okay, I don't know what that means. Okay.
Lindsay, somehow, like I did last year, I ended up on, I think, the University of.
Okay.
Out of the suit and off to the office. I do have thoughts, and I also love this song. So the interesting thing is, as most people here in Massachusetts know, Attorney Kevin Reddington also represents Lindsay Clancy, who was charged in the deaths of her children. And in that case, postnatal health and all this kind of behalf of somebody who the public kind of takes a different perspective and advocacy. And the reason for that is because, listen, as soon as I read those defense filings, my first thought was everybody who's named in here better have a lawyer and not be talking. And listen, they're police officers and they're people in the circle of police officers. So if there's anybody who knows that if you're being accused of a crime or you're alleged to have done something, particularly something as serious as these allegations, that you should get a lawyer and not talk to anybody. But, I think that maybe it's not the tact that I would have taken with regard to what has come out, but you're never going to find me on this page disparaging another attorney unless there's some sort of egregious act that they have undertaken, because particularly Attorney Reddington is the best of the best. He's been around.
Attorney Reddington is the best of the best. And they'll never disparage attorney. She disparaged Alan Jackson earlier, and Kevin Reddington is the best of the best. That's why he comes on my page drunk and asks me to dance. And by the way, the reason we know about the grand jury is because Kevin Reddington opened his big mouth. That's how we know about the grand jury.
For a really long time, and he knows what he's doing. So I don't think I don't think that hiring an attorney is necessarily an inference that somebody is guilty or an acknowledgement of some culpability. I think it's, quite frankly, I think it's common sense that if you're accused of potentially covering up a murder, you should hire an attorney. Like that seems like a pretty smart thing.
Okay.
Okay, so there's a lot going on in the O'Keefe case, kind of like behind the scenes outside the legal world. And I hope that everybody can understand why. You know, a lot of people asking my positions on things that are going on, and I just don't particularly feel comfortable. I like to stay in my lane, really, which is talking about the legal aspect of stuff.
I like to stay in my lane. Remember that. She likes to stay in her lane. She just likes to talk about the legal aspects of stuff. She likes to stay in her lane.
And unless information comes directly from like court filings, an attorney, a judge, the DA, that's really, I'm not here to investigate. I am here to discuss what the theories are. And moreover, I am, you know, I do practice criminal defense. So I'm in the business of getting people off from things, not accusing people of anything, if you know what I mean. So from my perspective, the next step in this is the oppositions that are going to be filed by the government on May 3rd. And I think that everybody, I understand. All
right. So
I have to say that I have it broken now. I really feel like the United States is, I'm going to say right now what I think the biggest issue still, like I'm thinking about this days and days later about the O'Keefe cases to me. Now, imagine in any world.
We won't listen to that much longer, I promise.
There's a dead body that shows up on your lawn in the snow. Okay. And the cops get called at 6:30 in the morning. In the real world, if that happened to me tonight, what would happen is when the police show up, they would freeze my house pending a search warrant being signed off from the judge. They would take every single person in that house in for questioning. They would seize everybody's cell phone, potentially take their clothing from them. They would go up and down the street and canvass the neighborhoods and knock on doors to see if anybody heard anything, saw anything, if there were any ring videos, anything like that. The reason why they do that on scene is because you need to get contemporaneous statements. So if there's 6 people in a house or 4 people or 5, whatever, you separate them immediately. This is what the police do. You separate them immediately and you get their stories. Okay. Now imagine, remember, when you call 911, who shows up? The police do. Okay. And we all know about the thin blue line, and it is what it is. Police take care of each other. They protect each other. It is what it is. Okay. So imagine knowing now that if you or I had a dead body on our front lawn, what would happen to us? Imagine that the cops show up and realize it's another cop dead on the front lawn.
That's gonna be an issue.
So you would think in any world that the investigation should be like 10 times more hardcore because this is one of their own. And instead it's nothing. It's nothing.
Great point.
They don't take any of them in for questioning. They don't take anybody's prints. They don't look for blood. They don't do any investigation aside from what the parties on scene. They just tell them. And then they take that story, they take that conclusion, and they find the evidence around it to support it. Like, that's what's the problem. That's why I'm a criminal defense attorney, because you would be surprised that this stuff happens more often than not. So I don't know whether the responding troopers and officers, like, I don't know to what level where the defense attorneys are alleging culpability. So I will leave that to them to speculate about. But, you know, even the DA, it's like, this is the story. Now they build a case around it instead of figuring out, investigate, and find.
Okay, so she's spot on. Everything she said there is 100% accurate. You're right. Like this is a huge red flag. Hello, this is what we're all thinking. It's freaking a huge red flag that the dude did not come out of his house. He just sat in the fucking house, and that you were never treated as a suspect. You were never separated and questioned. They didn't get any ring cameras from anyone's home, anything like that. So she gets it. She does get it. She does get it. And like in the comments, there's a lot of people saying that mentioned me on here, right? Like,
so I've talked about it before. So some of my practices that I do what's called bar advocacy work. So I don't work for the government, but I take cases.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you why. My goal is to preface this by I love teachers. So third-party culprit evidence. Essentially, this question is asking if.
Okay.
This is the stuff I'm not good at, but to this comment, it says a Cellbrite report clearly shows 227:40 UTC 5. That's not Eastern Standard Time. But if you look at this is the report. This is one of the exhibits in the affidavit in the motions for Rule 17 records. So this is the forensic experts report. And if you could see, it says time converted to UTC Saturday, January 29th, 2022, 7:27, January 29th, 2022, 2:27:40 a.m. UTC 5. So it's already been adjusted to Eastern.
So she's saying that the Google search is legit in this one.
Okay, so these are interesting comments. Like I see here and there for the most part. No, everyone seems to be on the sort of defense bandwagon at this point. And this is important because there are two sides to a case, okay? And you can't say that.
Okay, so this is just talking.
As most of you know, I'm not really of a conspiratorial nature. And it's mostly the lawyer in me that I feel like, yeah, trust but verify. And there's lots of things that people allege that I'm like, there's no basis in reality.
I don't know her name.
But I have to tell you, the fact that there's no mainstream media covering the allegations from defense counsel and
weird,
the
right?
Reed O'Keefe case is it's another red flag to me, right?
So she admits it's weird that the media is not covering this. Well, let's delve into that. Why isn't the media covering it? And this is what they don't go the next step. Well, oh yeah, who is the legal analyst for WCVB? Oh, right, Greg Henning. Who does he represent? Brian Albert. We've gone through this. Every one of these legacy media outlets has somebody in there who's connected to the town of Canton. We did a whole blog on it. Go read it. They all do. So there's a reason they're not covering this.
Right? Because I understand basically the position, everything I've seen now from in all the articles in the papers and the local news is prosecutors will disprove the allegations of defense, but they don't even not one paper or news organization that I have seen has actually even published what the allegations are. And these
So that's weird.
I have a question for you. Now that we know that someone has been charged for a year with intentionally backing up over and killing their boyfriend, leaving them to die in the snow. Now that we know that somebody who was inside the house and didn't allegedly know that this person was outside dying in the snow. Now that we know she Googled, how long does it take to die in the snow?
Now that we know.
Would you ever convict that woman?
No.
How can they continue with the case? That's the single greatest piece of reasonable doubt I have ever heard in my life.
Yeah, she admits. How can they continue with the case? Like, this is her initial thought. It's like, how can you continue this? This is everyone's. And so that's why I found this woman interesting at first. Now, I'm not going to judge. I don't care how she looks. I don't care how she sounds. I think I think you should focus on the things that come out of the person's mouth and not how they sound or how the person looks. I think that's a reasonable thing to say. Now, but the thing she's saying back then, when people first notified me to her, I'm like, oh, totally. She's 100% right about that. Like,
I don't know if anybody.
So
this is also the deal. Okay, so I just wanted to kind of clear up a couple of things. I know I say.
And stay tuned for any and all updates and make sure to follow 𝗏𝗏𝗺. So she did. That's nice that she said 𝗏𝗏𝗺. So I appreciated that. And I have nothing again. I'm not like trying to start with this woman or anything like that. We did invite her on the show. And she did turn us down. And I think it's because, reading through some of her comments, some of her followers don't like 𝗏𝗏𝗺, and that's really a shame. So like some people are like, I don't like 𝗏𝗏𝗺 and blah, 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 blah. Let's see. I question the accuracy of the defense. Let's see. And then she says, why? So she was all about the defense. With all due respect, do not come on my page and allege that an attorney is submitting fraudulent documentation to the court. Okay. The data they are relying on was provided by the Commonwealth. Attorneys swear an oath to the Constitution. We don't risk our professional. Okay. I have never heard 𝗏𝗏𝗺 referred to as good journalism before. How the turntables? Well, you've been reading the wrong thing. Rachel Person Realtor. Yep. Okay. So anyway,
this is also the deal. Here are my thoughts. I wrote down a list.
So she's got a whole thing. She was like, initially she was fully on board. Well, that changed in the over time. I just feel like because I have been kind of like leading the charge of this, like I feel like there is part of human nature. I think she wants to do her own thing and like just be contrarian a little bit. And I do think part of it is that she might have to practice law in front of Judge Kearney, so she can't call her corrupt or anything like that. But some of the things she said recently just are like, dude, give me a fucking break. Like, give me a break. So let me play a couple of these. She did a 3-part one. Let's see. What's this one? Are these in order? I don't know how are these like pinned ones at the top? How does this work? So the John O'Keefe case, should I go here? How long to dine cold? Okay, no, all right. How about part 2, part 3, part 1? Okay.
Happy Monday. Good morning. Everybody has been asking about the new filings in the O'Keefe case. That is the motion for the judge to recuse herself. They were just talking to this morning. I've been checking for a few days. It's 30 pages and it's legal reading, so it's going to take me a little bit. I also just left court. It's 9:30. Got my case dismissed already, and I'm off to my office to get some work done. So in the interim, I will read that and try to get you an update by later today.
All
right, everybody buckle up, because you're definitely not. I know everybody in my comments, except for a few people, are going to be like, oh my God, she got bought, they got you, whatever. Because you're not going to like what I have to say about the motion to recuse filed in the O'Keefe Reed case. But to preface that, I want to explain a little bit about what a motion to recuse is and what kind of standards we have as attorneys and as judges. Now, anytime you're in a court, number one, everybody knows everybody in Massachusetts, particularly in the legal field. There's all kinds of conflicts all the time between judges, attorneys. I used to work at firm. I used to be a partner here. I used to be a friend here, blah, blah, blah. I'm colleagues outside, yada, yada, yada. Most of the times the conflicts don't come into play because people's judges, attorneys say, yeah, I know that person. I, used to work that person, but I can be fair and impartial. So basically the standard is, can you be fair and impartial? Unless there's a conflict that's so obvious, you can't sit on a case where it's somebody that or you've had a financial interest in something, or if it's a family member or you have inside information. I mean, very clear conflicts. Attorneys and judges will always recuse themselves. I think when you're not in the legal system, you don't understand how serious these things are. That just the appearance of impropriety is a big issue for us. And so if anybody thinks that there's any sort of conflict, most of the time a judge will announce it from the bench themselves. They'll say, I just want to preface this by saying, I used to work at so-and-so firm. I know this person. Does anybody want to be heard on that? Does anybody have any, anything to say? And most of the time, everybody's fine. So what the defense in this case is asking is for Judge Canoni, I still don't know how to pronounce her name correctly, recuse herself. And the basis for that request is threefold. The first being that Sean McCabe, who's related to Jennifer McCabe, Nicole McCabe, made statements on Turtle Boy's Facebook saying, what was the first thing he said? I put in a call to Auntie Bev to get a trial by combat order. Stupid. And then Turtle Boy Facebook messages him privately, says, do you really know her? And he says, whose seaside cottage do you think is going to be, where you're going to be buried under? And they use those statements from Sean McCabe as the basis for one of the reasons why she should recuse himself. Now, they haven't submitted anything in that motion that I've seen, any sort of investigation, anything that shows that they actually know each other. They did pull the deeds that show that they both have a house in the Cape in Centerville, and that their houses are 4 miles apart. And I know these attorneys are pro Harkton and they're from out of state, but no offense, anybody who's anybody in the state of Massachusetts, particularly judges, politicians, has a house in the Cape. They're trying.
What? So there she is, kind of looking to, I don't know, these dumb California people, they don't really know how things work around here. Everyone owns a house in the Cape. Well, I got news for you. Note my objection. There's 15 towns on the Cape. And within Barnstable itself, there's 4 villages, I think. There's Hyannis and Centerville and a couple others. So, but that's so it's not like one lives in Eastham and the other's in Sandwich. They're both in Centerville, within 4 miles of each other. The Cape is not really that small of a place. And so everyone owns a Cape house. So Sean McCabe just assumed. He just assumed. It was a lucky guess. He's like, you know what? Judge Canoni, she's a judge. And I just assume that she has a seaside cottage in the very town that I live in, of the 15 towns on Cape Cod. I just assume that. I just assume. Like, that's what she's saying. It was a lucky guess on Sean McCabe's part. Okay.
Trying to say because he knew she had a house in the Cape, that's a conflict. So, okay, go to part 2.
Okay.
All right,
Part 2.
everybody.
Part 2.
So basically the inference is that because Sean McCabe alludes to knowing that the judge has a house down the Cape, that he must know her. They basically say there's no other possible way how he could know that. And I just find that to be like kind of laughable, to be honest, because everybody knows somebody who has a house down the Cape. And most of us know people who have houses down the Cape and in what towns, even though we don't know.
Down the Cape, like down the Cape. Oh, I fucking hate that. On Cape Cod, down the Cape. It's like Jersey people. Going down the shore, going down the shore, going down the Cape. No, not everybody knows somebody who has a house in the Cape. I don't, well, I've met somebody through Turtle Boy, but I know a lot of people through Turtle Boy. That's a little different. But like to say, like before I did Turtle Boy, I didn't know anyone out of the house in the Cape. So it's not that common. Okay. And so just for this guy to, this is wild. Like, so this, what you spend 3 minutes talking about that you just assume that. And again, that was one of the 4 prongs. And it's like, yeah, that's shady. And then when you combine it with the other stuff, it gives the appearance of partiality, the appearance of it, not actual proof of, partiality, but the appearance of it to a disinterested observer.
Them, like to talk to them on the street or personally. I find that to be a huge reach. I really do. I find it to be a huge reach. The second issue that they talk about for the basis for the motion to recuse is what this delay in responding to motions. Now, there's one motion, the motion to compel the discovery, that's still under advisement, and that's legitimate. I think she's taking too long on that. She should make a decision on that.
Oh, okay. So she admits. The fact that David Yannetti's 76-day motion to compel the prosecution to hand over all he's done. Like the court has already ruled that they have to hand over John O'Keefe's clothing so that the defense can test it for DNA to see if there's dog DNA on it, because there obviously is. And they've had it for 18 months and they're just not handing it over. They have to hand it over. They have to. And they're just not handing it over. So why haven't they done that? Well, so David Yannetti files a motion. Can you please force them to hand it over? How fucking hard is it to be like, yep, you have to, here's a 3 or 4 page freaking thing I write up. I've been in many of these cases before. It doesn't take that long. It doesn't take 3 months to respond to a simple motion. Again, when the Commonwealth files a motion, it's ruled on instantaneously. I was in court on May 24th. It took her all of 5 minutes to rule that she was going to allow the quash of the subpoenas against Jen McCabe and Brian Albert. 5 minutes. She didn't need 76 days. She needed 5 minutes. She didn't have to write anything up. She just did it right there. How hard is it to be like, yeah, dude, I'm ordering you right now. Hand it over by this date. Period. Get it done. Or else you're in contempt. Problem solved. That's what somebody with actual authority in a courtroom does.
And just issue an order and a ruling. However, on the other 2 motions that they talk about, they specifically reference that there's a 16-day delay from when the argument happens to her decision, and the second motion is a 22-day delay. And I have to tell you, as a practicing attorney, that is not a delay. 16 days and 22 days for a decision to be made on a murder case motion. Come on. Like, this is.
Come on. Yeah, you're missing the point. The point is that it doesn't take 16 or 22 days when they file a motion. When they file a motion, it's done the next day. There's nothing comparable when the Commonwealth does this. And every day that they delay this with Karen Read is money and time, and it violates her civil rights to a fair and speedy trial. But okay, go ahead.
This is the kind of stuff where it's starting to me as somebody from the outside looking in going like, what are you doing? You're just trying to play games? Because you know, and I know that 16 days and 22 days is not a long time.
Okay, so they're just trying to play games. Well, besides the other one, which you said in the same breath was actually a big deal, but they're just playing games. This is a fucking game to them. Well, no, I'm not a lawyer or anything, but I do see the bigger picture here. Does anyone in their right mind, like she seems to be operating under the assumption that they filed this motion because they want to win it. They're thinking much bigger than that. She's thinking too simple on this. They're thinking much bigger on this. They don't care if she denies it or approves it. Either way, they win. Because if she denies it and they appeal this, like they're thinking of the next court. Like she won't dare deny this. And that's why they're putting this all in writing. They want it all in writing ahead of time so they can have a big body of evidence to go after this is done and appeal any decision she's made. And it just adds to the belief that this judge is completely in the tank. It's not brain surgery. She's thinking small time here. Like she's thinking, well, like how can they expect to win this? I don't think they do. And I think that's kind of the point. A normal judge would approve it, but they're not.
I've waited 9 months for a decision on a motion to suppress that we all knew, every single person in the courtroom knew was going to be denied, and they could have denied it from the bench. But what happens is when you hear a case in court, and there's a motion that's submitted, and then there's an opposition, and those are usually lengthy, and there's an oral argument, and the judge doesn't just like go back and say like denied, allowed. They do their own research. They read the cases cited in the motion. They read the cases cited in the opposition. They usually have an intern or a clerk, and then they make a decision based on reading all the case law, and then they have to draft an opinion. And like that doesn't happen overnight. I'm sorry. These Superior Court judges have full dockets of other cases. So like this is a homicide case motion. It's an important decision. And so they take the time. So to act like 16 and 22 days is a long period of time is a joke to me.
Oh, it's a joke. It's a joke. But she doesn't judge other attorneys. That's what she said a couple months ago, right? She doesn't criticize the jobs that other attorneys do. But this is a joke to her. So Alan Jackson and David Yannetti, who are high-profile attorneys who people pay a shitload of money to hire because they're very good at what they do. TikTok lady thinks they're a joke. So there's that. TikTok lawyer.
The third thing that they talk about basically is that she didn't let them hold the evidentiary hearing. Now, I will say she said in court that all the parties agreed to it. So I think that she made a mistake in saying that on the record.
Oh, so she made a mistake. So the evidentiary hearing, which both parties agreed to, and both parties agreed they could bring any witness forward. And the judge agreed, yeah, we'll figure this all out at the evidentiary hearing until they found out who was going to actually testify at the evidentiary hearing. And then they shit their pants. And then they just canceled it altogether. So that was just a mistake. Now it was just a mistake. Not like an unbelievable, what a weird set of mistakes keep being made here. Weird.
In court. Because I think she was just trying to like move things along because there was a lot of press, there was a lot of emotions, all that kind of stuff. And I think she then realized, oh shit, why did I say that on the record? Because Rule 17 doesn't permit evidentiary hearings. And I will tell you, I promise it's not just in this case. In my entire experience in the legal criminal justice system, I have never once seen an evidentiary hearing on Rule 17. So I will finalize.
Okay, but you've never had a case like this, obviously, so that doesn't really matter. In which case, you've never had a case where the defendant is accusing somebody else of murder and has a lot of evidence and forensic evidence to back all that up. And yeah, so I'm like reading all this. Let's see. Somebody's like, not everyone has a Cape House. He didn't pull that out of the air. She needs to step back. I didn't say that. I said half of Massachusetts knows. So just half. Okay, half the people. And then somebody said, he doesn't say the Cape, he said the specific town. I'm aware, but even if McCabe is aware that the judge has a town in that town, has a house in that town, that's not a conflict. It's the appearance of it. That would certainly appear to a lot of people to be that way. Let's see. Didn't they pull the deeds that show that Sean McCabe has a house at the Cape in the same vicinity? Yes. Apparently they own property in the same town. I love your videos and don't stop them because of the trolls. Turtle Boy's followers are in attack mode and are now harassing witnesses. Okay. Well, what witnesses are being harassed? I appreciate it. Kind of disappointing considering I've been on here trying to help people understand when I disagree. I don't even, okay. The difference being she rules for the prosecution. I'm just hearing more excuses. The only examples people have shown me are the 2 motions to quash, which are not motions. Do you have any other specifics? Happy to look at it again. Okay. No, but I can show you dozens of others, by the way. This has been going on for 18 months now. Somebody says, Sean McCabe actually said he was going to bury a person under his Aunt Bev's beachfront condo. Don't think there's anything funny about that. It's like, people are saying, I lost all respect once you flipped the script when Reddington was hired. Please don't deny it. You've been avoiding talking about this case. Okay. Okay, so they don't understand the law.
All right,
okay.
everybody buckle up because you're definitely...
Last one. You made a 3-part one. Then we'll move on.
So the thing about me is that I don't care if people don't like my opinion. I will tell you what my opinion is anyway. And so here it is. I really think that this is kind of a bunch of BS.
Oh, okay.
I think that they have the strongest case. As I have said from the very beginning, they have done such an excellent job, the defense, at poking so many holes in the Commonwealth's case that they have, they really probably have the best defense possible. But what they're trying to convince the Commonwealth and the court and the people that somehow Karen Read is going to be pronounced innocent, and they know that's not going to happen. I know that's not going to happen, and I think it's like trying to fool the people, to be honest, to expect that that's going to happen. She's not going. Nobody's going to say she's innocent except for her defense team and the people who support her. That is what it is. Nobody's going to be charged with this. Hey, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And
no one's going to be charged with it. So, question, Miss Attorney. Why is there a federal grand jury convened on this then? Why? What do you think they're doing? Do you think they're just doing this because they're having a good time? They're just like to hold federal grand juries and waste their time and resources investigating this? Do you think they're just do you think the feds are as stupid as Carl Dougal? Do you think that they can't figure out what's going on here? Who killed John O'Keefe? They're just going to let that one go? Ridiculous.
Say it, but I'm putting it on the record now. The case has to go to trial.
Doesn't.
The judge that you have on this case right now is a lifelong public defender, and what we call those are true believers. Okay, those are the truest of the truest of the truth. They were they are there for the defendant. Okay.
Okay, so we've been over this. Normally they are. But this is not a normal case. She roots for the underdog. Karen Read is not the underdog anymore. Karen Read is a huge favorite. The odds of Karen Read being convicted are 1,000,000 to 1. There is no chance in hell. Then but her whole attitude of here, let's just take it to trial. Why should we take it to trial? This should be ended right now. This is the fact that it's not being ended the second the Google search came out is a fucking farce. Because we all agree if that Google search is legitimate, which it is, then this is over. And the prosecution should not want to pursue this because they wouldn't want to go after an innocent person, would they? Now, this all could have been hashed out at the evidentiary hearing to find out. That was the day we could have found out whether or not this Google search, they contend it's fake. So let's figure that out. If it's real, if it's a real Google search, both parties will agree this is ending right now. If it's not real, then we proceed. So we could figure that out, but they're not. And that's why we have a problem. We don't want to let this go to trial because that is a loss when that happens. She's not going to lose a trial. Everyone knows that, but she has to pay for that. And the time and money that's being wasted on that while the real killers just walk free. That's another thing. There's murderers walking free out there. She's not stupid. She knows who killed John O'Keefe. She knows it wasn't Karen Reed. So that means someone did it. And that means murderers are walking free. And people should not feel safe in a society where not only are murderers walking free, but the institutions that are supposed to protect us from those murders are protecting the killers. That's a problem, a huge problem. But yeah, let's just let it go to trial and have a faux trial where Karen Reed is acquitted, and then no one is ever held responsible for John O'Keefe's murder. Let's do that. Let's do that. Yeah, that sounds just. Yeah, let's do that.
That's what the judge did for her entire career. And then she was pointed to the bench, and now she's a Raj in Norfolk Superior Court. This is a highly respected attorney and judge. And the fact that...
So this is ass-kissing now. This is like what you say when you might have to potentially argue a case for it. This is a highly respected judge. Highly respected by who? I mean, I've seen lawyers do this all the time. Greg Henning the same way. That's what you sound like right now. Kiss ass, because you might have to practice law in front of this woman, and you are kissing her ass. She's so highly respected by who? I have no respect for her. I don't think anybody following this case has any respect for her. You know who has no respect for her? Who I would bet money has no respect for her? Cindy Chestnut has no respect for her. Go up to Cindy Chestnut's face, I dare you, and tell her that you respect Judge Canoni after the way she disrespected the Chestnut family in the worst way possible by the mishandling of that trial. Oh, no, but that was good too. That was fair too. The way that was handled, just telling the jurors on a Friday, one juror doesn't want to deliberate, so she tells them to go home and then declares a mistrial the next day. That's normal, right? Because you're a lawyer. We're stupid. We don't practice law. I didn't go to law school. Little do I know that's actually fucking normal. I've never heard that happening before. A juror just telling a judge, I'm not going to deliberate. And the judge being like, okay, mistrial. But you're the expert attorney and I don't have a TikTok. So I can't really, I defer to you on this one.
That she ruled in their favor a number of times, but they don't like some of the decisions that they've made. And I see this as a way to do two things. One, to circumvent the decisions that they've received, and two, to further sway the court of public opinion. And I don't think they need to do that because the court of public opinion is like completely on their side at this point. There is no world in which Karen Reed is going to be found guilty. I'm sorry. There's no world. She would be found.
Okay. So there's no world in which then why are we going to trial? Like, that's what you should be asking then. Then why are we going to trial at all? If you know that, and I know that, and everyone knows that, then why are we wasting our time with this? That's the issue. She's just afraid to go, like she sees what we all see, and she's just afraid to go to the next logical step on this. That, yeah, maybe there's some corruption there. Maybe. The institutions that you work for, they're corrupt.
Not guilty all day. But to kind of create or mishmash together facts to make it look like the judge on the case is biased and impartial.
They are.
Now, listen, if they had some photos or some testimony or an affidavit of someone saying like, yeah, they're friends, they vacation together, they know each other, this person knows that person, they've talked about the behind.
First of all, that would mean nothing to this court. Because you know how I know that would mean nothing? Because we literally have fucking pictures of Michael Proctor with Jennifer McCabe's children. And we have pictures of Michael Proctor with Chris Albert's entire fucking family for like 15 years. We have pictures of all of that shit. And it meant nothing. So she's like, if there was pictures of Bev Canoni and Sean McCabe together, that would mean something. If you had a fucking picture of Bev Canoni and Sean McCabe taking shots of Fireball together and then banging Raw Dog on some beach in Centerville, it would mean nothing to these people. Absolutely nothing. Because you know what they would say? That's not me in that photo. That's what Adam Lally said about Michael Proctor. That picture of Michael Proctor, those aren't 𝗵𝗂𝗍𝗶𝗆's kids. Yes, they are. That's just a fact. Those are 𝗵𝗂𝗍𝗶𝗆's kids. No, they're not. Well, I guess that's that. There's not. Like, what?
That's different. They're relying on literally dumb Facebook messages from,
very
like,
dumb.
I mean,
oh yeah, what?
I don't know if you tell that I'm frustrated, but I'm frustrated with this because I actually think this is like beneath the level of
It's beneath
her defense, because I think they have done a really good job so far. And I just think this is a bunch of bullshit. And as we say,
she doesn't judge
around the way, like, you got a good case. You just got to try the fucking thing.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
you're gonna win.
You just got to try it. Yeah, you just got to try it. You just got to put your client through that instead of trying to get it dismissed or making sure that you get a judge that's actually fair and unbiased. Instead of doing that, we'll just have just try it and then get acquitted, and then we'll move on and we'll never find out who killed John, and that's normal. Yeah, some like the commenters are great. The issue is, yes, she will be found not guilty, but then no one will be held accountable. And her response is, it happens more often than you think. Oh, that's great news. It happens. Okay. Like trying to read these comments. Sure, but when the DA when the DA asks for something, she gives her answer in 5 minutes. What about trying to change the dates from the 25th to the 28th? That's a good question. And she says to that, the only reference in the two motions to quash, which weren't DA motions, which are motions you are what? Okay, all right. Show of hands, how many people from Mass know that any judge is living down the Cape? I sure do not. Exactly. Right. It's just so wild. Like, everybody knows someone who lives in the Cape. Anyway, why won't she just move along in the rotation? Probably would have made it all of this a lot easier. Wouldn't exactly. Like, maybe you're onto something. So they go to trial. Karen is found not guilty. Does she have a case against anyone, or does John's family? Is there a chance for any type of justice? Not in my opinion. Oh, okay. So I guess Alan Jackson and them should just give up. What? Oh, here's a good question. Somebody says, if she's convicted, could they use this as a basis for appeal? Is that what they're trying to do? Yes, that's exactly what they're trying to do. Any pretrial motion denials would be on the table for an appeal. Oh, maybe that's what they're doing then. Yeah, okay. Anyway, again, we invited this woman on. She's welcome to come on and we could talk about this. I don't know. I'm always down for a conversation. I don't think anyone should make fun of her for the way she talks or, her glasses or whatever. I think we should debate the merits of her argument. And earlier on, she was arguing pretty strongly that Karen Read was innocent and that this is an absurd and unjust prosecution. Now it's all of a sudden not that big a deal. It's not that big a deal. She'll be acquitted and nothing shady going on here because everyone apologize. Half the population knows someone who has a house at the Cape. So there's that. Let me read a couple donos here. We got Bob sends $25, says, you are a local and soon to be national treasure. Oh, thanks, Bob. Please stay safe from these vicious thugs. Remember, they killed a Boston cop. You know what? I was thinking about that today. I'm like, Chris Albert would love to kill me. Like, let's keep it a buck. I don't think he would. I don't think he's got it in him. Colin might have it in him, but Chris Albert would. I mean, how would you feel if you were Chris Albert? Like, it is your son, right? It's like your flesh and blood, right? You love him no matter what. Even though he's a piece of shit, you love him. And you're going to protect him at all costs. I get that instinct to protect your son. I believe that Chris Albert was a lot more involved in this than we know, than we believe. I think he was more involved in the cover-up than Brian Albert was. I think Brian Albert's so authoritative that he just commands the respect of all these people and they get on board. And I think that Colin was the main aggressor in this. And so that's why I think that they had to get Colin out of there. And we know now, we saw the obituary. Check out today's blog. If you didn't see this, do you guys see this obituary? Maybe I should bring this up and not assume that you guys know what I'm talking about. Let me bring up this one. So this is Michael Proctor's grandmother's obituary, Diane Barsamian, from 2009. She was 83 years old. And it says down here, Mr. and Mrs. Proctor, Courtney and Michael, we are so sorry for your loss. Our thoughts and prayers are with you all during this difficult time. Julie and Chris Albert, December 21st, 2009. 2009. Have you guys ever written like passed on condolences to an acquaintance, somebody you didn't know that well, when their grandmother dies? Not their mother, their grandmother. Like, that's what grandmothers do. They die, unfortunately. Like, I just assume when my friends tell me that like my grandmother died or something like that, I'm like, I'm sorry, but it just doesn't sting that much. It's sad, but that's what grandmothers do. They die. And I don't really like, it just doesn't, it's not something like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. You tell me your mother dies, it's like, oh shit, I'm sorry, man. Like, that's rough. It's real rough. It's not supposed to happen. Unfortunately, that's what grandparents do. They die when they're 83. It's what they do. So I can't imagine a world in which you know somebody not that well and you wish them like, I'm so sorry about your grandmother dying. No, that's the kind of thing that you post when you know someone real freaking well. And this is 2009 they post this. So I've always said this, like Brian Albert, there's no, like, we can't get a smoking gun so far. From what we've shown, we have some other shit from we've shown that Brian Albert and Michael Proctor are directly like buddy, right? But we do know that Michael Proctor, it says in this obituary, Michael Proctor of Canton. So he has lived in Canton for at least 15 years. It's his home. It's where he's raising his family. And we know that he's been good friends. His family is close with the Alberts. We don't know exactly how that relationship started, but the Chris Albert clan of the family, not the Brian Albert clan, the Chris Albert clan is so close to the Proctors. And Chris, so people are like, why would Brian Albert and Michael Proctor cover for Brian Albert? Well, maybe he's not really covering for Brian Albert so much as he's covering for Colin Albert. That would make a lot more sense. Because if Colin Albert was the primary aggressor, you know, he's going to, like, Julie Albert and Chris Albert found out what happened real quickly that night. They had to. He had to tell them what happened. And they immediately, as most parents, well, I don't want to say most parents, but your initial instinct, right, is to protect your kid. So you're going to protect him. And so you have this line to the Proctor family. Luckily, you know a detective on the Massachusetts State Police who is a very close family friend, who you've been there for them through thick and thin, and now it's their turn to be there for you. Of course you're going to make that call. Of course he's going to make that phone call. So I bet, like, a lot of people think if you're going to get Brian Albert's phone, you're going to get phone calls to Michael Proctor. I'm not convinced you're going to get that. I think Chris Albert is the one who made the call. I've always thought that Chris Albert is the one who made the call to protect his son. I don't think they're protecting Brian Albert so much in this whole thing as they're protecting Colin Albert. I think Brian Albert himself is protecting Colin Albert. I think Colin Albert and John O'Keefe got into a fight inside that house, which is why Colin has a black eye, which is why 2 weeks afterwards, which is why John O'Keefe has broken metacarpals on his hand. That's what those are on his hand. He broke his fucking hand. I know what that looks like. That's it. I've done it before. And I think he punched him in the face. And the dog and Brian Albert jumped in to protect Colin because he's family. He's got the fucking Albert crest. Sorry, he's like a made man. You can't fucking touch a made man. Sorry, John O'Keefe, you're a Boston cop, but you're not a made man. You can't be doing that. Keep your hands off, as Monica has said. Keep your hands off. So, yeah, I think that is where that, I don't know how I went down that rabbit hole, but I think that I understand why Chris Albert would want to protect his son. I do. But I think that, but I also think that like your desire to protect your own son, like what I would do for my son, I don't know. But like, anything, it was the answer, I guess. And so like, I'm actively trying to lock his son up in a box for the rest of his life. When you look at like, if my reporting comes to fruition, that's what will happen is Colin Albert will be in jail probably for the rest of his life. So you can't allow that to happen if you're Chris Albert, right? So like, wouldn't you want to kill me if you were Chris Albert? Wouldn't you want to kill me? Like, doesn't it seem like wouldn't you want to kill me? Like if you were, okay, let's take a vote in the comments right now. In the serious question, I'm going to put a poll question up, okay, in the comments. Let me do it. If you were Chris Albert, would you want to kill Turtle Boy? Okay. Oh, no. So that's the poll question. If you were Chris Albert, would you want to kill Turtle Boy? Because I'll be honest, I probably would want, like, I'd be like, I can't actually kill you, but like, it'd be so fucking sweet if you like got ass cancer or something, or, you know, you got hit by like a truck. Like that'd be so fucking convenient if that happened. I'm just saying. And I'm sure he feels the same way about Alan Jackson and Karen Reed. I'm quite sure. What are people saying? Let's check the poll. What's the vote? So yes, 89% of people want to kill me. I don't even think Colin does. I don't even think Colin pays attention to any of this shit. I don't think Colin has any fucking clue how lucky and entitled he is. I think he's too stupid. Remember, this is the guy that thinks Shakespeare is gay, or like Shakespeare is dumb and like a loser. Anyway, so that's my thought. So I guess I'm not really worried because it takes a lot. I'm way too in the spotlight for them to do something like that. But I'm sure they'd like to. I'm sure if I was like in their house and they were all drunk and I couldn't leave and there was somebody else that could be blamed for my death, I'm sure then they'd do it then. No problem. Yeah, I'm not suicidal. I swear to God. Despite what any of these assholes try to tell you. Okay. He killed John. Well, he didn't kill John. And I don't think they intended to kill John. I still don't believe that. So, okay. So that's that turtle chat. Let me read the next one here. Maureen Flaherty sends $10 on Cash App and says, or Marianne says, want to loose my Boston accent after that chick. I mean, I'm not going to shit on her accent. That's not what I'm here to do. But I'd seriously invite her on to discuss this because she likes to talk, obviously. So why not just talk about it with me? Emily Moynihan sends $10 and says, for next chicken parm is on me. Keep up the good work. Won't be getting it from D&E Pizza, that's for sure. Justin Green sends $25, says, I commend your patience with that dimwit clerk. Well, thank you very much, Justin. I'm more of an asshole clerk. You know what he was doing. Like, calling him a dimwit is too much. And you know where else people are cunts? Fucking Reddit. Can we talk about Reddit for a minute? Why I don't use Reddit? Let me bring these cunts up. So check this out. Okay. So somebody makes this long post on Reddit. I'll put the link in the comments. You can check it out. And I fucking hate Reddit. People are like, Reddit's right wing. Reddit is the biggest left wing pussy echo chamber I've ever seen on the internet. Just a bunch of cowardly, anonymous losers. And they fucking hate Turtle Boy, even with all this shit. And so somebody writes about, please read, this is in the Boston subreddit. So a big subreddit. Possible corruption actively being hidden from you. And this person called, I don't even know, makes this long post. It gets upvoted 275 times about what's happening with Karen Reed. But because they cite Turtle Boy and our involvement in it, you just got to read these things. You know, let's see. Let's go to the best, highest rated one. I'm sorry, but what the fuck is Turtle Boy? It's a cesspool. He writes and attacks pieces, doxing and harassing people for being social justice warriors, and Six's swarm of alt-right followers on them. Calling him a journalist is like calling a crack whore a professional athlete. So says subtly spells badly. Figured this. My far-right relative sends me crap from him. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. I used to have a friend who fell down the alt-right pipeline who would send me crap from this guy, and he has since been blocked. I mean, this is like he's a neo-fascist piece of shit who doxes people, who sends hate groups after them, then hides in his basement when the same thing happens to him. Oh, I hide from no one, Mr. 𝗏𝗄𝗄𝗄 of Doom. 𝗏𝗄𝗄𝗄 of Doom. It's just like, you got to read them on here. You're like, holy shit. Like, even if you hate me, this whole covering of this case is undeniably like, we're all over this one. We got it. Like, we're in talks with some big fucking people with this. It's been a career changing and defining story for me. And if you can't give me this one, I don't know what to tell you. You're just hate, and like that platform, Reddit, is just filled with them. Like, and that's why I don't fuck with Reddit, because it's too anonymous, too many anonymous pussies. That's why I like Facebook, quite frankly, is Facebook has the least amount of anonymity. Yeah, there's a lot of fake names on there and shit like that. I would say on Facebook, like 90% of the people use their real name, probably. So, or at least like some version of their name, like, you know, Christina Marie. A lot of the women do the middle name thing. But people, you know who you are on Facebook, usually. Reddit, like, I don't know who any of those fucking people are, but I could probably tell you what they look like. So there's that. So tomorrow I'm going to be working on, I'm going to be finishing up the story that I've been working on. I had a thing today. So I apologize for the lack of content. My brother's family, I'm the oldest of 7. And so everyone's in town for the week. It's like the 1 week, the whole family's here. So we had like a sports camp at my house today. So all the cousins and shit come over. And so I was really busy with that, doing like a sports camp outside. So I did what I could today. But the next one I'm doing is like a response to a response to, or a blog about the motion to oppose the gag. And it's really interesting that the Adam Lally, the case law that he cited in his motion to gag, was something called, what the hell was this case called? Gentili versus State Bar of Nevada. And he's like, you can gag the defense because I found this case from 1991. It's a Supreme Court decision, except he cited the dissenting opinion over and over again. And I got a quick video here. I want to show you about that case, because I've been reading a lot about that case today and figuring, like, I want to know all about that case because Adam Lally is using that to try to gag the defense. So I want to learn more about it because that's what you do. Let me play this video.
Criminal defense lawyers talk to the press about high-profile cases all the time. But states have professional disciplinary rules that limit what they can and can't say. The constitutionality of one such rule was at issue in the 1991 case, Gentile versus State Bar of Nevada. Criminal defense lawyer Dominic P. Gentile represented Grady Sanders, a well-known Las Vegas businessman accused of stealing $300,000 worth of drugs and money during a police sting operation. On the day Sanders was indicted, or formally charged, Gentile held the first and only press conference of his career. He maintained his client's innocence and implicated a police detective as the guilty party. 6 months later, a jury acquitted Sanders of all charges. 10 months after the press conference, the Southern Nevada Disciplinary Board of the State Bar filed a disciplinary action against Gentile, alleging a violation of Nevada Supreme Court Rule 177. That rule prohibited lawyers involved in pending litigation from making statements to the press that the lawyer knows or reasonably should know will have a substantial likelihood of materially prejudicing the proceeding. Rule 177 listed a number of statements that would violate the ethical obligations of the rule. The rule also contained a safe harbor provision, which stated that notwithstanding the rule's other provisions, a lawyer may comment without elaboration on the general nature of a claim or
So Nevada's got a rule for lawyers here, right? And so you can't, there's certain limits on speech that you can't talk about, right? Because it might poison a jury pool. And so this guy, Gentile, he's representing this client, who, by the way, was acquitted. And he did something very similar to what Alan Jackson did. He would hold press conferences where he would blame the police who actually did the crime, as it turns out, and accuse them of being involved in a cover-up and say that his client is just the fall guy, and his client was acquitted. And then after the client was acquitted, then the Nevada Bar Association charged him with violating this rule. And, you know, it's arguable whether or not he actually violated the rule, but that's not the issue here. The issue here is whether or not that rule was constitutional. So they challenge it. So they ruled against him. And then they bring it to the Nevada. I'll show you what happens.
Defense. Following a hearing, the disciplinary board found that Gentile violated Rule 177 and recommended a private reprimand. Gentile appealed to the Nevada Supreme Court, which affirmed. The United States Supreme Court granted cert.
So it just stops there for some reason. But what? So the Nevada Supreme Court ruled against him too. And so you appeal to the next court. And if they have time and they get to pick and choose what cases they take, they're going to take it. And the Supreme Court in this country is like undefeated on the issue of free speech. It's the one issue where they almost always agree. And this is a court, this is 1991. And this is right before Clarence Thomas got on the court. So like it was the judge that he cites is Chief Justice Rehnquist, who is a liberal. And he was one of 4 dissenters. It was actually a 5-4 decision. The 4 people that were against it were Rehnquist was one. And so like the anti-free speech, right? What we call them. Rehnquist was one. Souter was another. He was another liberal. Then there was, I believe Scalia was the third one. And then the fourth one was Byron White, who was just about to retire. Byron White had been on since the Roe versus Wade days. He was one of the 2 dissenters in Roe versus Wade. So those 4, so he cited them. He cited the loser. And you don't do that. You don't cite, lawyers know you can't do that. You're not allowed to do that. So he violated his own court rules by even citing a dissenting opinion and thought that they would pull a fast one on the judge. And so they look into this like, whoa, you cited the dissenting opinion? This got overruled. So this got overruled and case law was established because it's a big deal. You can't tell a lawyer that you can't talk about this. So this is a huge fucking deal. And so if she gags at Alan Jackson, and we're talking about this could go like they can appeal this. They will appeal this. And it'll go to the Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court. And who knows how they'll appeal. It doesn't really matter how if they rule in his favor, great. If they overrule Canoni, great. If they don't, then we can bring it to the Supreme Court. You don't think they can bring this to the Supreme Court? They absolutely can. And is that how Justice Kearney wants to go down? Like, seriously. Like, what is she doing? Rehnquist was not liberal. Let me see. Chief Justice Rehnquist. I know, obviously, Scalia is not. Liberal or conservative. Let's see. Oh, he was strongly conservative. I apologize. So I got that one wrong. But Souter was definitely a liberal. I think Byron White, I'm pretty sure, was conservative. But liberals were traditionally better with speech issues. So Anthony Kennedy penned the majority decision. I'm trying to think who else would have been on that majority. Sandra Day O'Connor would have been on that majority with him. I can't even remember. That was before Ruth Bader Ginsburg. So yes. So Souter was appointed by HW. Yeah, HW appointed him and Clarence Thomas. You can't win them all. So one great one and one not so great. Anyway, so I got that one wrong. See, I can admit defeat. So that's interesting. That's very interesting that they cited the losing opinion. And Kennedy and O'Connor were like moderates on the court for a long time. So that's what their claim to fame was. Who replaced O'Connor? Was it another woman? I forget. She was somewhat recent stepping down. Was it Roberts that replaced her? I forget. Somebody replaced her. Anyway. All right. Anyway, so there's that. Okay. Anyone else have any questions they want to talk about? Let me take any questions. I got another turtle chat here from Steven. Sends the way Chris is acting out in public shows it's starting to crack and become unhinged. If there was innocence, he wouldn't acknowledge it. As a public elected official, he doesn't realize it's not a good look and dampens his chances. He knows his son is involved. Of course, you're absolutely right. Everything he said is 1,000% true. 1,000% true. O'Connor was not a conservative. Stop it. She was appointed by a conservative, but she was definitely a moderate. That was her thing. You can't just bring a case to the Supreme Court. They have to accept. I'm well aware of it. But you don't think that's the kind of case that they would accept? They accepted the Gentili case. Why wouldn't they accept this one? Yes, I think we got the Canton ones. I think we're good on that. Thank you. Anyone else have any other questions they want to ask? Did I get any cash apps? £7 says, hi, Sean McCabe. Fuck your mullet. Peace, Turtle Boy. Absolutely. Is the prosecution still trying to get Alan Jackson? I mean, that's still on the table. That's still on the table. I don't know what she's trying to do. Think of how bad that'll look if she does that. It's my understanding that she has paid them. So, like, what happens then? She's paid in full, and they're basically working for free now because if she paid them a flat rate, which I assume she did, no fucking way is she paying them hourly. I looked up Alan Jackson's hourly rates. You know what his hourly rate is? Take a guess. Just take a guess in the comments. What do you guys think Alan Jackson's hourly rate is? Yeah, pretty close. It was about $18.50 an hour. So $18.50 for him. And Liza Little, I believe, is like $1,200 or $1,300 an hour. So that's like the two of them combined are $3,000 an hour for those two. Plus David Yannetti, plus Ian Henchy. So there's no fucking way you know how long that motion, that whole thing, you know how long that took? How many hours went into that? There's no way she's being billed hourly. She must be she must be paying them a flat fee. So if that's the case, then that means she's paid in full, right? So what the judge would effectively be doing then is taking away her attorney who she's already paid for, and then she has to get, who at this point she's, and I say working for free, but you know, she still has to pay for him to come out here and stuff like that. Then she would have to get a new attorney and start over, and that guy's not going to work for free, or that gal. And what happens if she just disqualifies them because they're too effective? And what attorney would ever want to speak truth to power anymore, knowing that this judge might just kick them out? So there's that. Oh, if you think that this is being paid hourly, then we're in the millions of dollars already. Millions. No fucking way. You know how many hours that they've been on this for over a year, dude. Over a year. All right. I hope they meet the $250,000 for attorney's fees and then some. I mean, that's what I would guess. I would guess that Cameron Reed is paid about $500,000. That would be my guess. But again, I don't know. I do know, like, I'm assuming that like every time they fly out here, she's paying for that. I'm sure that's part of their agreement. Amiri King update. Here's the update. He's a bitch and he's hiding from me. That's the update. He doesn't want none of this smoke. He tapped out. He officially tapped out. He's white trash. I proved that, and on to the next one. I'm done with him. I gave him a chance to meet me in Kentucky. He ducked out. Do you think they keep going forward because there's a pile at the end? Keep going forward where? Bang, bang. No, he's literally not responded at all to me. Like, talked all the, because he was just thinking like, oh, I'll talk all this game and this guy won't, he'll think I'm crazy and he won't fuck with me. I'm kind of crazy too. Let's dance. And then he's like, ah, shit. Didn't expect that. Then he didn't know what to do. Checkmate. No, I don't have any court updates or anything like that. We'll see. Yeah, we're going to meet at, I'll have the exact place we're going to meet. We're going to meet at noon, probably at the district attorney's office in Canton, but I might meet in Norwood. I'll make an announcement tomorrow or Saturday or Thursday about that. Yeah, exactly. I'm not wasting time. Again, he had his chance. It's over, and he's a waste of time. That's what he is. Even got the W from 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃. Wow. There we go. For whatever that's worth. For whatever that's worth. All right. Yeah, Kendra does have court tomorrow. I'm going to try to get to that. I got to wake up early and drive to Boston for her hearing, which is supposed to be in West Roxbury District Courthouse. We'll see what happens. You can be a clerk of court. I did not know that, but I think he was an attorney before that, Jim McDermott. So David says Brett wants to fight me when I come to Mass. I mean, what's he going to take his skateboard down there? Oh no, Brett, is Brett still? Oh, he's still alive. Oh God. Nobody cares about stupid Bert. Yeah. Oh, hey, Brett. Still talking about me? Shocking. All right. Anybody else? I would hope she'd be rich, and she deserves to be. The shit she's been through. The Giannetti Hall of Justice. Yes, that's correct. Oh, Giannetti's here. He tried calling me during the show the other night. Giannetti, call me right now. You guys want to hear from Giannetti? Call me, Giannetti. Give me a call. Let's talk right now. Now's your chance. This is when we can have Giannetti time. Is you can, after the show's a little bit dying down, we still got like 1,300 people on here. Feel free to call up. I love when I sent. See, that's back when I was anonymous. If I could do that again today, I would just go get it. But I was anonymous back then, so how could I go get it? You know, I did win an award. People like, so the award-winning journalist thing, a lot of people ask me that. They're like, what awards did you win? Okay, first of all, it's at this point, it's like it is. I did win awards, but this time I'm just saying it because I know it triggers you. And it's like, yeah, I didn't like win a Pulitzer or anything. I won the Worcester magazine 3 years in a row. 2015, I won the best blogger, best local blogger. That was a category they had. And that was like the Reader's Choice Award. So the people voted on that, not me. The people voted on that. But how many blogs do you really have to compete with in Worcester County? So then the next year they got rid of that category because I won it. They didn't want me to win it anymore. So in 2016, everybody voted for me for best media outlet. And I won that. And then the year after that, I won it again in 2017. And then they stopped doing it. I shut down the whole award. So I won best media, but they had this like fancy thing where for the awards, oh God, I wish I could have gone to, I should have gone to those, said, fuck it. But you know, if I could do it again, I would never be anonymous at all in this whole thing. But I was anonymous for quite some time. We want Giannetti. Exactly. What is the court date for? It's for these motions. So if you hear these motions about the motion to gag and I don't know, other shit. No, I can't be gagged. No. How's Aidan's baby? I don't have any babies. I don't think I do. So it's supposed to be a 9. This stuff makes me sick. I know Giannetti would lighten the mood. I'd like to hear what he has to say about this. Did he recover from his gunshot wounds? I don't know. The real ones know. 3 years in a row. You're absolutely right about that. The real ones. Did I see that I sent you Brian Higgins as a house? Yeah, but I don't know what that proves. So at this point, I just say award-winning journalist because I just like the sound of it. And I did technically, I'm not lying. I did win those 3 awards. I got them hanging in my office. Brett said you sent him to pick up the trophy. Oh, so he won all. Oh, of course he did. Yeah, he's really important. Really important guy. They can't compete when they don't compare. They just steal your shit. Yeah, that tends to happen. All these people crying about it on Reddit. Oh, boo-hoo. But you know what? The fact that there's a gigantic Reddit thread just talking about me, what they don't realize is that's a W. That's a W. You're all sitting there, all you losers, and you know who I am. And you're spending time in your day talking about me. You're really upset that I'm effective, and you're mad about it. And you're talking about it on Reddit, and you're saying he's bad. He's a bad journalist. But guess what? The mere fact that you're talking about me at all is a W for me. Okay? That's all that matters. Keep my name in your mouth. That's what I want you to do. I want the supporters to do it. I want the haters to do it. Keep on talking. Keep on talking. Please update about Monica. She's in trouble, actually. You might have seen over the weekend, she got in a little trouble. She she almost violated her probation because she is spending her dad's money, which she's not allowed to do. They found out. My little girl, you said she was, oh, not sick. She's 8. So she was sitting upstairs on the couch and she's like, she just didn't want to be alone. I'm like, she's going to be home in 5 minutes. She'll be good. I'm like, you can come down here and sit down here and watch me on the show. But she's cool. She's fine. Yeah, no call from Giannetti. That's too bad. And when Jeremy Renner plays you in a movie, maybe they'll put some respect on the name. Yeah, absolutely right. Me and my boy, Jeremy Renner. I don't look, nobody thinks I look like him, do they? I've never been told that. I get Peyton Manning sometimes. Sean Penn in the earlier years. I get that sometimes. Nobody's mad as 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗀𝗃𝗃, also known as 𝗵𝗏𝗃𝗃𝗃. I believe that's 𝗵𝗏𝗃𝗃. That's been established now. Yeah. 1.3 thousand people here. Must be doing something right. Absolutely. Bert needs to eat a sandwich. Well, he needs you to give him $30 for the sandwich. He needs to give him $30. That's a good point. If you think about Turtle Boy, you are a turtle rider. That's a good point. I bring up Turtle Boy at work and people. Yeah, that's the thing. You bring up Turtle Boy in the real world, people like it. It's like, that's why it's like Reddit is not the real world. Reddit is a fake platform that doesn't accurately represent the population at all. The average fan listens for 30. The average hater listens for 56. You're goddamn right. They don't miss a thing I do. They don't miss a thing I do. They love this thing where I was coming out of the gym and I had like an 𝗃 shirt on and I'm sitting in the car. I did a live stream from my car and I go to a stream and I'm like, I got a snot rocket coming out of my nose. I'm like, fuck, it's going to be one. So I either have two choices. I can either go through the whole thing, in which they're like, oh, he's a cokehead, or I can blow my fucking nose. And so I bent over to blow my nose because I didn't want to do it like in the camera. And you actually see a tissue, me holding the tissue. And I go, like, you can hear me sniffing, and I blow it all out. And then I'm like, oh, and they're like, they play that all the time. Like, he's a cokehead. Yeah, that's what I did. I did cocaine in the Planet Fitness parking lot while I was live streaming. I'm just that addicted to coke. I can't help it. I mean, that's how pathetic they are. That's how pathetic they are. But yeah, have some fun with that. Have some fun. Sure. I'm a cokehead. Sure. Thoughts on the Pats losing out to D-Hop. I have the Felger take on this, and like, just like the contrarian take. It's just like, dude, if Belichick, I think Belichick has an ego problem. It's like, you're not the same Patriots you were 4 years ago with Tom Brady. You can't just expect that people like D-Hop are going to come here for less money because they want to do it the Patriot way. It's not the way it's going to go. He went to the freaking one team where like receivers go to die. Tennessee. Horrible. So bad. They should have paid. You do look like him, and he is amazing. Really? Oh, well, thank you very much, Alex. Very kind of you. No, he really is. Somebody figured that out. That was figured out. He was logged into the wrong account. We know it because somebody was like saying something about 𝗵𝗶𝗃𝗀𝗃, and then the 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗀 account responded and was like responded as if they were Brian. And it's like, oh, dude, you're a boomer move. You forgot to log out of the account. And they deleted it. They got screenshots of it. And it made sense because 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 is a huge liberal. So, you know, it's not like Krusty Panties or, Dump Truck or any of those people, because it's like, why are you so political? And it's just like, oh, it's 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃. He's got a bunch of fake accounts. So that's clearly him. He just commented he's calling. He might think that he's calling, but he's not actually. Oh, he is calling. Hey, Giannetti. You there? He hung up.
So you don't want to make no call to nobody. I'm going to give you a chance to call.
He hung up. He called me on Instagram, of all places. Instagram. Come on, Giannetti. Hold on. How do I see the messages? Am I in the wrong account? In the wrong account. How do I switch out? Okay, he's calling again. Giannetti.
What's up?
What are you doing?
Why are you live and it's still on the camera?
Why am I live on the camera?
You're on live and then you're here.
Okay. So what are you doing?
What are you doing?
Hold on. Let me change my audio setting. Okay. So how are you? What have you been up to these days?
You know what I've been up to.
What do you tell me? I don't know what you. I don't follow you.
Yeah, you do follow me.
What do you mean I follow you? I don't follow you.
You got all my shit on your intro. That's all new stuff.
That's not new stuff. That's old stuff.
Yes, it is. The polo code's new.
The what?
The polo code in the fucking video is brand new. I got the tag.
Okay. So did you really get shot? Did you get shot?
I got shot at.
Who shot you?
The police shot at the vehicle when I was parked.
Why?
I can't get nothing until he's on leave with pay, and I can't even do nothing until the DA decides to do something. They're covering everything up.
Of course they are. So how's your arm doing? Is your arm still hurting from that incident a couple of years ago?
No, I had surgery on my arm, and I told you that.
Okay, how's my transgender baby doing?
My son isn't transgender.
Well, she is, but go ahead. And my daughter. So, but how's she doing?
You're just a fucking idiot, you know that?
Yeah, you don't sound like your normal self today.
No, I'm not normal. I almost got my fucking brains blown out. I've been fucking pretty bad lately.
Oh yeah? So you're not high or anything right now? You're not on crack?
No, I'm not on crack.
Okay, are you following the Karen Reed case? Do you guys have any questions for Janetti? Feel free to fire away.
The Karen Reed case, my case is worth 10 times that.
Your case is worth 10 times what Karen Reed's case. What is your case exactly?
The cop shot at me while I was parked, and they're covering it up to a red light, so that's why I got shot at.
Who's the cop?
They won't give me his name.
But then how do you know he's on leave?
Because I talked to the firearms internal affairs, whatever. Whenever you shoot somebody or shoot them, they take your firearm and put you on leave.
Okay, so what do you think of the Canton story?
I haven't really looked up into the Canton story.
You don't, but I thought you liked to learn about corruption.
No, because every time I give you something with corruption, you just laugh at me and play games.
You sound way too sober right now. What's going on?
Dude, listen, what's the corruption with Karen Reed?
Yeah, so this woman was accused of killing her boyfriend with her car, who's a Boston police officer named John O'Keefe. They said she ran him over. But as it turns out, it was actually murdered by at the house of a Boston police sergeant named Brian Albert, who arrested you, I believe, on Boston's Finest. Remember when you got arrested on Boston's Finest?
No, that guy's dead. He shot himself.
Oh no, that was John O'Keefe's. Was that John O'Keefe's former partner? There's some connection there. But no, Brian Albert was on that show too.
There's a woman, Spanish, and then the guy that was there, he killed himself.
Okay, so you got arrested anyway.
And I didn't get arrested on Boston's Finest. They didn't find nothing.
What'd they do to you?
They just searched the car, and then when I went to Milton, they had a dog search the car for a gun, and the dog hit on a blow dryer.
Okay, can you do a freestyle rap for us?
What do you mean? Can I do a freestyle? I just did a new song about the whole shooting.
Okay, can we hear it? Let's hear your freestyle rap.
No, you're gonna put the beat and then you put it on mute and you do all that other bullshit.
I'm not doing nothing. You do it right now. You play a beat in your background and let's hear it.
I have to go in the house and put it on.
Snipe on the roof.
You want me to play Sniper on the Roof?
Well, all of your songs incorporate Sniper on the Roof somehow into it.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, it doesn't?
No, I have a new person I'm going after now.
Who's that?
I'm gonna get that fucking cop. He's gonna do some time for that shit. He almost blew my fucking head off.
Remember when you took me? Remember, it's been almost 2 years since you took me to court because you said you were scared of me. You remember that?
No, I sent you and you cover. I got the piece of paper right now saying, do not put my son's picture on social media and give me back my music. Would you like me to?
You think I took your music?
The paper wasn't a restraining order regularly. It was for you to stop putting my son on YouTube. You know I put it out there, and you fucking kept, whoever you got a wit kept fucking editing my shit. I have it in my fucking pictures. So don't make me post it and then make you look stupid.
Wait,
please. No one was afraid of you, dude. Nobody's afraid
of you. You said you were afraid of me. That's why you tried to get an order on me.
No, the restraining order says to stop putting my son on fucking.
There was
YouTube
no
and
restraining order. You never got a
attacking my
restraining
shit.
order on me.
Yeah, but it wasn't a restraining order. It's the only way I could get you to stop putting my son on fucking your show.
Wait, but there was no order. You never got anything on me.
You tried to go to the upper court and get it scratched off your record and you lost. You told everybody you didn't, but
There was nothing on my record because you lost to me.
No, it's always on your record. It's just dismissed.
No, I was never. You have to be charged with something to get dismissed.
No, I got them on mine fucking for the rest of my life.
So,
I beat them in 2
okay,
weeks.
so true or false? True or false? Did you or did you not file to try to get a harassment prevention order on me?
Yes.
Okay. Did you win?
Did I win? No.
So you tried to get an order on me
You
and
got
lost.
freedom of speech. You got freedom of speech.
I do. I do have freedom of speech. So you lost.
You should have won. But the point
I
was,
should-
I wanted you to take my son off your intro, and I wanted you to stop fucking with my family.
Your son was never on our intro.
Yes, it was. I had pictures of you putting my son on, and you took him down.
You put your own son on when we live streamed you at your house. You barged into the room and put your son.
I had a picture with my girlfriend holding my kid, bro.
The girl you groomed? You groomed her.
Not the girl I groomed.
How long have you known her? How old were you? How old was she when you first met her?
Dude, why don't you tell you don't get this on? Did you just on court?
What? You're breaking up.
Yeah, Joe.
What?
You're in court for the same shit with a girl that you beat because she didn't show up. You acted like you got a big press conference or something. She didn't show up. You were messaging a 16-year-old girl. Do you want me to stop?
Remember when you cried to the judge and you're like, Your Honor, he said justice for Lisa.
No, I didn't say justice for Lisa.
No, you cried. You cried about that.
Lisa's been dead since 2009.
Yeah, I know. You killed her. You killed Lisa.
I didn't kill her.
She died. Did she or did she not die when she was with you?
Yes, she died of.
Okay, so she did die with you. And was she or was she not on drugs?
They took a urinalysis and she had no drugs in her system.
They took a urinalysis of a dead girl. They made the dead girl pee.
They took yeah.
Okay, and there was no drugs in her system.
People die all the time, bro. Hey, do you think that I would be around if I really killed somebody?
Well, I definitely think you
Think in
killed.
your head, bro.
Okay, did you or did you not admit that you put your dick inside a girl who said she didn't want to have sex with you?
You took her name out. I said that Lisa used to tease me and say no, that she didn't want to screw me around our friendship. So you took Lisa's name out and you edited what you edited and you left Lisa's name out because of course I can't rape her and kill her. So you kept Lisa's name out. Every time I put it on Facebook, you got it taken down or your people got it taken down. So stop it.
Did you or did you not say that she looked good in short shorts and that she said and that you said you know how the girls like to play and that you threw it in her?
You're talking about two different conversations, bro. You edit stuff, bro. You know you do. You got me going there saying I like homosexuals. Everybody knows you edit shit, Aidan. Dude, you don't get 2,000 subscribers. I got 16.
You said that girls like to play like that, as Clean Urine Stash says. Do you follow Clean Urine Stash on YouTube? He's breaking up again. He's breaking up.
20,000 subscribers and you've had it for 3 years. 20,000.
What? Okay.
That makes you an award-winning what?
I am an award. You're saying I'm not an award-winning journalist? You're still watching my show.
Dude, you had molested your student and you're in fucking court with another girl and another woman. You ratted out a state police girl you were banging and you take fucking news clips from other fucking news outlets and you run with it.
Can you guys hear him?
You're a liar. If you didn't edit stuff and be a creep, you might be pretty good. But you edit shit. Who puts on there? I like homosexuals. Everybody knows that I don't like homosexuals. So you look stupid in that intro. All you've done is make me fucking more famous and you lesser famous. Because I prove that you fucking got arrested as a woman. I proved that you had 2 social security numbers. I proved that you fucking lived in another place and were fucking in federal informant. I proved all that. Every time you took it down, at least 500 people seen it. Then I made another one. You didn't even know I was doing TikTok for 3 years. Thousands of people seen that. I have over 400,000 views just in TikTok alone, not including all my alter ego raps. I get out to more people than you ever will. And that's a fact.
Okay, so people want to know.
People want to know what?
Will you do cameos? Will you do cameo freestyle raps if people like and roast someone if people give you money for crack?
I don't listen to me.
Okay.
I don't have to roast anybody for anything.
Listen to me. People want to give you money to make cameo videos of you roasting people of their choice. Would you do that? Somebody's offering $100 right now if you make her a personal video of you roasting someone.
I didn't listen, dude.
Think of all the crack rock you could buy with that.
I don't do crack.
Oh, stop
right.
it. Well, not right now. You're not doing it.
I'm a recovering addict, bro.
Yeah, because you ran out of money. You're not a recovering addict if you just can't buy it.
I run out of money. I just put pictures of my new car on there. I had a Tesla and then I have a fucking 2023. What are you talking about?
Real talk. Have you ever sold crack to a woman named Have you ever sold crack to a woman named 𝗵𝗂𝗄𝗎 Mejia?
I don't know no one named Julia Mejia. If I did, I would tell you.
Okay, you would tell me if she bought crack from you.
Of course I would. Because
okay.
I haven't sold crack in probably like 10, 15 years.
Okay, so who do you think she would have bought crack from? Who's like the #1 crack dealer?
I don't know who she is, bro.
Okay, so you stop. So back to your girlfriend though. So how old was your girlfriend when you met her?
I already told you this story. Okay.
How old was she?
I already told you this.
It's a number. It's a number.
She moved in when I was with Rebecca. Remember Rebecca when she checked you and said, my mother's a lawyer and I'll sue the shit out of you? She lived with my girlfriend and me.
How old is she?
She had nowhere to go.
How old is she?
18. At 18
Oh,
years
please. We got pictures of her, you and her together when she was 14.
Yeah,
and who was her mother?
I went to school with her mother. Yeah.
No, you didn't go to school with her mother. You banged her mother. You were dating her mother.
I just slept with her and got high and fucked.
Okay, so you were dating your girlfriend's mother at the time.
No, I was never dating. I was just banging.
Okay, so you were banging your girlfriend's mother at the time, and then she aged out, and she started dating Joe Amoroso, baby Bella Bond's baby sperm donor. She left you for him, and then you took her daughter, right?
When DCF wouldn't let her stay at her grandmother's no more, she came to move in with me at 17, and I had a girlfriend that lived with me.
So now we're down to 17.
Me and Caitlin only slept together maybe 3 times.
You and Caitlin, your girlfriend.
My son with her. Yeah, how could I sleep with her fucking crazy mother right there if you're saying that that's what I was doing? She fucking helped me out when I was on the run, so when I got my money, I got an apartment. Caitlin was always with the grandmother, okay? And I got to know Caitlin. So when Courtney beat her up and DCF took her, she went to her grandmother's. Then her grandmother's in an elderly home. So when she turned 18, she had nowhere to go and no friends.
So you took her in.
So I took her in with my girlfriend.
That sounds like the definition of grooming, like being with her until they turn 18 and then you bang them. That's like you just defined grooming.
No, it isn't the definition of grooming, bro, because I didn't have that type of relationship with her where we just grooming.
You have a kid with her. Well, you had a kid with her. Now I have the kid, but go ahead.
Dude, I was sleeping with fucking 5, 6 girls, beautiful girls that you couldn't even touch, bro.
But dude, it doesn't count if you're feeding them crack.
I wasn't feeding them.
Oh, of course you are. Have you ever banged a woman that you didn't feed them crack?
My mother used to get high with her, you idiot. They were in court together. She got locked up and Caitlin OD. They got to get high together. But I told her they put into a home for 4 months, you idiot.
Somebody says a woman named Alex. A woman named Alex says, I will cash app Giannetti $50 right now if he drops a freestyle on how much he hates Turtle Boy if you have Cash App. Do you have Cash App?
I think I have CashApp. I don't know. I don't know if it'll work.
Why?
Why? What do you mean? What do you mean I'm roasting you? You want me to put a beat on and roast you?
Well, she wants you to. She wants to pay you $50 on Cash App if you drop a freestyle on how much you hate Turtle Boy.
First of all, she ain't gonna fucking pay me shit. I'm not stupid. But if you want me to do a beat and roast you on something new, I'll be happy.
Yes, do it. Get the beat going.
All right, you need to wait, and I have to go in and get the other phone.
Okay, go get the other phone and then roast me. We'll be right here. We'll be.
All right.
Are you in Georgetown right now with your father and Caitlin and the baby?
None of your business.
Oh God, the baby's awake. It's 11:40. I just heard the baby.
You didn't hear no baby. That's who you hacked into my shit.
I hacked into your shit. I just heard a fucking child. I hear him right there. Hear her. That's a kid screaming.
Dude, how are you listening into my fucking family shit? You are a freak, bro.
The microphone picks it up.
How are you hearing that? What's wrong with you, bro?
What's wrong? I hear the child running around at 11:40. Hello? Why is the kid awake? He's such a loser. What a way to end the night, huh? We needed a Genetti one. I don't know. I don't know. He just turned his camera off. I think he thinks we all heard that child running around, right? That was my transgender son. I know it. What is happening to that baby? Oh, he hung up. So no $50 for Genetti tonight. Maybe another night. He had his chance. Okay. Anyone else have any questions? Snipe on the roof. Don't worry about how old she was when I banged her. That's not a kid screaming, dog. I'm a smoke a blunt the size of a log. Oh my God. I don't want to miss any cash. Okay. All right. He's if you're new here, Genetti is a classic. He's this crackhead from Hyde Park. He calls himself the Selfie King, King GSD, the Meth Mongoose. He is just one of the most degenerate people you'll ever see, but he's hilarious. Fucking unintentionally hilarious. And he gives us some good content sometimes, but he calls all the time, like when I don't want to talk to him. And now's the kind of time where I wouldn't mind talking to him. All right. Anyone else have any questions? Take his child out of revenge, make him a transgender baby. Yeah, I should. I've already been accused of that. Oh, yeah. I forgot about the 𝗵𝗵𝗴𝗃 one. I forgot about that. I'll look into that. Anyway. All right, guys. We will call it a night from here on out. Thank you guys for joining the broadcast. And we will see you guys for Turtle Club on Thursday night. We'll see everyone else at the Rolling Rally Saturday and for the live show on Saturday night. Peace, Turtle Riders.